Good morning. Welcome in, everybody. It's a new day, which means it's a new reverse chapter for me to get through. Okay, so I don't think I was not initially planning on playing this so soon after chapter 8, because I was like, usually I take a little, not like a whole reverse break, but I take a little, I pace myself when it comes to at least to the main story, and I guess also event stories and whatnot. But chapter 10 is coming out next week, and I kind of want to be caught up, and I also want to catch up on the events, so we're doing this now. I don't know what happens here. I don't know the context of the. I haven't even seen like, what's the word for that? Usually when it comes to reverse, I will see like the occasional screenshot of like CGs from the game, but the CGs are always from like other chapters and events. I don't think I've seen content from chapter 9 at all.
Are you also listening,
which is kind
to
of
the
silly.
wind dancing on the
So we're gonna
treetops?
start. We're gonna do our usual. We're gonna start with some trailers. Let's see. Reco trailer is safe. Want to start with that? I do. And I also wanted to see the whole version trailer. So let's start with the version trailer, and then we'll do lovely Recoleta. And I get to see the context of one of my favorite characters to play. I don't know anything about Recoleta. I truly only pulled for her when she came out because I was like, she's cute. She's cute, and people were saying that she's really strong, so I was like, I'll pull for her. But now I want to know what's her deal. Can I please... Hello? OBS? There we go. Okay. Mute the game. Muted on my side. And then... Version 2.6 trailer. Folie de Raison. That is a whole year. That's what a whole year of French high school French class sounds like, everybody. Let me know if the audio sucks.
Hear this! For us!
For us!
For poetry!
For poetry!
For us!
For us!
For free will!
For free will!
For us!
For us!
For literature!
For literature!
Oh haven!
Oh haven!
The panopticon!
The panopticon!
Nowhere else
What
but
is
here.
happening? Oh. Damn.
Doris, that blind writer? 3 days ago, she asked me for directions to Comala prison. Prison?
This is an experimental facility. Soon you'll see just what that means.
Jailer, who is the ruler of this prison?
What is this backrooms looking area? What the heck?
According to the agreement, the Idealist and I represent the two factions of La Sociedad. In light of his possible assassination, the Congress will now be chaired by me.
Ugh. Don't like that. OMG.
What are we doing here? What even is this prison?
You are a prisoner of Comala and a guest of Manus Vindictae.
Fiction and reality are two parts of a whole. We're We're trapped in a story with a predetermined ending.
Ooh. Neato. Okay. We can stop there. We're past that time frame. About Latin American literature and psychology, what do I know? Nothing at all. When it comes to any type of history, the most I'm ever going to know, or about like history, literature, and whatnot, the most I'm ever gonna know is just U.S. American history and some literature, and by some I mean very little. I am quite. I don't know. It's not that I'm like avoiding it or anything. I'm just not. Like I'm a sciences major, so I don't get as many opportunities to passively engage in literature and history outside of reverse, I guess. Where's Recoletta's trailer? Chapter name translates to Madness and Civilization by Michel Foucault. Interesting. Madness and Civilization. I don't know anything about this chapter, but I feel like that suits it well already. Let's go see Recoletta's trailer. Pookie.
El conductor de burro asesinado está obsesionado con la primavera y sus rayos de la mañana, demasiado brillantes.
Recoleta! Por Dios, Recoleta!
Oh, Señor Boyosa, what are you doing here?
You've been staring at that thread for 10 minutes. Quit all of this daydreaming and get
Oh my
back to
god,
work.
autistic.
A good writer should know how to balance her bread and her poetry.
Excuse me. Miss, we'll have a bottle of your finest wine, please.
Right, sir. One bottle of our finest wine coming up. Un símbolo de lujo y celebración. Perfecto para el comienzo de una historia. The key to truly spontaneous writing is trusting your gut, just as it is with arcane skills. Just clear your mind and let the creative power flow. Follow your instincts and strike! Oh, perdón. My arcane skill is a bit off today.
Huh. You're working harder than usual.
Las palabras rotas y la aleatoriedad del destino están soplando en el viento.
Great. Now we have to wash these again.
Another rejection from yet another publisher. No one ever appreciates the story of my little town. But that will change. All I need to do is keep writing. Marcus, Soneto!
Marcus? Oh my god.
What are you two doing?
We're tidying up the bookshelf.
My baby.
This is my novel. Gracias por leerlo, mis queridos amigos. Así que esto es lo que se siente. No estar sola nunca más. No lo entendiste en absoluto, ¿verdad?
Aw. That's cute. Oh, I love Recoletta. She's so cute. I really want her. Oh my god, I really want her garment. Her upcoming garment next patch. Crazy. It's so good. Where am I? Where am I? Where did my mouse go? I'm lost. She's so silly. What the heck? I'm so excited. I can see that a lot of you guys also like this chapter and Recoletta. So I'm even more excited. Let's hop right into it. I don't think this chapter is that long compared to the other chapters. 'Cause I did double check. I don't know how many nodes there are, but I did double check a like no commentary walkthrough thing, and it's like what, 6 hours? So 2-parter for me. Ooh, this is so cute. What the heck? Why did this feel more like a board game? I think it's a giant dice. No, it does feel like a board game's board. These little, like, spots. How cute. Prologue. Our story begins on the evening of March 22, 1991. Foliated it is on. Yippee! Let's see how good my pronunciation is this time. So the Platonic year whirls out new right and wrong, whirls in the old instead. All men are dancers in their tread. Goes to the barbarous clangor of a gong. WB East, 1919. Ooh. It's the final days of March, and the daylight hours in Ushuaia are shrinking away. Past the busy season, the city is faded and quiet. At this moment, in a cafe at the end of the world, conversation and laughter are sealed within an airtight glass dome.
Hace algunos años, trabajé como guardabosques en un campamento en Cuernavaca. Allí conocí a un poeta surrealista mexicano. Estaba especialmente agradecido de que estuviera ahí. Unos animales habían entrado al campamento y los ahuyenté por él. No fue gran cosa, en realidad. Como muestra de agradecimiento, me explicó esta extraña historia. Una que ocurrió en un pueblo del desierto de Sonora, llamado Amalfitano, en 1975. La gente ahí seguía una creencia muy poco ortodoxa, que giraba en torno al Dado de Babilonia. Un día, una investigadora con una maleta llegó al pueblo. Vino a estudiar sus costumbres locales. Una razón nada sorprendente para que una intelectual erudita apareciera en un remoto asentamiento del desierto.
D&D tabletop gaming is also part of the aesthetic for the chapter and maybe the theme. That's cool.
Would lead her down an entirely unexpected path.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt, Recoleta. Does this researcher have a name? She could be Nora, Joanna, or Teresa. Any name, really. I feel like you want people focusing on this story, not keeping track of who's who.
Real. Confusion and shock intertwine on a storyteller's face.
Thank you for your advice. But she isn't a Nora, or a Joanna, or a Teresa. She's just herself. A paracausality researcher.
You see that look? She's halfway to eating you alive. Face it, Maria. She wouldn't be the loca we know if she listened to anyone.
Loca? Crazy.
Ah, alright. So you didn't like the opening. Fine. I'll come up with something new. Maybe I'll start with a bit of exposition on the Die of Babylon, beginning with its origins as a secret relic created by an Aztec priest, imprisoned by the conquistadores.
The mysterious Die's origins never get a continuation, as their story is interrupted a second time.
I don't know if that's going to do much, hermana. I'm beginning to think we'll never figure out what you're trying to say with this novel.
That's hard to hear.
And, well... and this isn't your fault.
Ay, Dios. Just tell her, Maria. We're going back to Buenos Aires.
¿De vuelta a Buenos Aires? ¿De repente? ¿Así? ¿Sin más? Pancho, Maria, what's going on? Did I do something wrong during our travels?
The startled storyteller eyes her companions of the last 2 months, searching for reasons.
Ah, see. I know what it is. I've bored you with my constant rambling over this novel.
Oh.
No, Recoleta. It's got nothing to do with your novel.
Don't you get it? We're flat broke. Why do you think we're stuck here scrubbing tables?
The man slams a damp washcloth on the table to emphasize this point. His voice breaks the illusion of silence in the cafe.
Because we can't pay for all the mate we've been drinking.
That wasn't a question, Regoleta. We've crossed the continent, crashed the readings of all those prestigious poets, and lived the way a real artist should. And I admit,
oh, we got a
it's
bunch
been
of
just
broke
as
artists
amazing
here,
as you
huh?
promised. But we can't go on living like this.
Oh, I fear this is too real.
We both care about you, and we believe in your novel too. I'd be lying if I said this journey meant nothing to me. Getting to ride around the continent on a motorcycle like Che Guevara himself? I never could have imagined I'd get the chance to go on an adventure like this. We got to live the dream.
A real dream. Except for those days when the motorcycle broke down. Though that was a real tribute to Che's journey too.
Don't tease, Pancho. Recoleta, since you invited us to join the Visceral Realists, we've both found amazing new ways to channel our inner poetry. Even though I still don't understand what in the world you're trying to say with your novel, or for that matter, what visceral realism actually is. Maria, Pancho. You told us not to worry about the definitions, to feel and to live in our words. We did just as you said, and it felt great. But...
She looks out at Ushuaia, feeling a chill. Snow falls from the dimming sky. The season is shifting. Soon, gray and white will blanket the colorful houses of this desolate land.
Ahora el frío del invierno se instala. Y lo único que parece importante es ese pequeño pueblo ficticio.
The storyteller sinks back against her accusation, searching for words.
I appreciate your honesty, amigos. I was worried the problem was much worse than all that. Winter here isn't as dreadful as you think, and I know just the place to keep us warm.
Oh?
It was 1520. Arcanist Ferdinand Magellan sailed across
cute.
unfamiliar waters under orders from the Spanish crown. Over the vast gray sea, he saw spots of light in the distance. An island. He named it Tierra del Fuego. For the next 400 years, Ushuaia faithfully served its role at the end of the world. It became the continent's penal colony, and its largest building even served as a prison. Many arcanists were exiled there. By the turn of the century, the arcanist hunt had reached its peak, and the Comala Sanatorium was built. Well, as you may already know, at that time, most arcanists were believed to be victims of madness. The sanatorium was their ship of fools. However, as people began to realize that arcanist blood wasn't a guarantee of madness, fewer and fewer were imprisoned there. By 1947, it was officially closed. Until the 1970s, when a group of people from the National Foucault Studies Association returned to the island with new ideas for the location. They spoke in abstract terms and opaque theories that no one could understand. They rebuilt this place and gave it a new name. After a long period of construction, the Comala Sanatorium became a prison once more, one designed to hold arcanist criminals. They were taken from the
always gotta be a
streets
prison?
and the psychiatric clinics, from secret societies and rebel groups. Any arcanist deemed mentally or socially unfit would be locked away there. This association claimed the inmates would receive the best treatment, and they would fully recover before being returned to society. A prison, a medical lab, a sanatorium, call it whatever you want.
That is what Comala is today.
We're breaking into a prison?
And we could spend the whole winter there. It'd probably be the easiest winter we've ever had. All that it requires is a little bit of acting.
I have doubts.
It won't be hard to pass ourselves off as a bunch of unstable crackpots. A touch of madness comes parceled with the gifts of being an arcanist.
I have doubts about this, but okay.
That's your brilliant idea? To get us locked up in an asylum?
And she's so excited about it.
You understand we'd be prisoners there, don't you? It's not like we get to put our feet up and relax by a fire.
Her increasingly agitated companion turns his head aside, catching the faint outline of a patrolling gendarme? Through the frosted window, sorry.
Wanna go to jail? Well, see that man over there? Go greet him with a punch to the jaw, then you'll be set for the whole winter.
It sounds like a good idea.
Oh my god.
Recoleta, please. We're not messing with the Gendarmeria.
Anonymous?
According to my aunt
I don't
Julia,
know.
she said she could take us in at her vineyard up north near the capital. Well, it's harvest season. They could use all the help they can get. We'll return to Ushuaia next year. Or when the winter has passed. It'll still be great.
Recoleta's expression is as cold as the mate tea on the table.
I hear you, amigos. But respectfully, I must turn down your offer.
Oh, she actually gonna...
This
okay.
has been more than just a road trip for me. I know sticking around here for the winter won't be easy. But this could be my last chance. What if things change again? I can't just wait for spring.
Recoleta.
What did I tell you, Maria? She never listens. Wasting your breath. Adios, Recoleta. I don't think we'll meet again.
Pancho's apologetic words freeze in his mouth.
Mierda! Los gendarmes are looking straight at us!
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh. The cafe door swings open. A gust of cold air and dampness sweep through the room. Recoleta's hair stands on end with a chill as she turns to face the door. Uh-oh.
Stop right there!
Uh-oh.
You three match the descriptions of some intruders at the poetry meeting in Casa Pionera.
Recoleta plans a response, only to hear the scrambling sounds of her companions bolting away out the back door. Oh my god. Don't run.
Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse.
Don't run. That's the last thing you do. If you're being accused of something, you do not run. Oh my god.
I have all the essentials for writing poetry. You, me.
Night of Babylon feels like a reference to the Library of Babylon by George Louis Borges. See a lot of his influence in this chapter. Ooh.
Ready? I've got some trouble brews.
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo.
Name.
Fire.
Skins are basically a party with Willow, LePere, and Eric, and the event shop had Rekko talking about running a campaign with Bonnie Verdon and Horripedia. That's so funny. I wish I could get more into D&D.
Vuelos de fantasía. Patrones ocultos.
I've never done a campaign before. I've only watched. I've like witnessed ones, like live campaign, but I've never actually been a part of it. I don't even know why. I think I just didn't feel like it at the time. Comala is a reference to Juan Rulfo's novel Pero Paramo, story about a person in search of their parental figure in a town of ghosts.
Hey,
My
don't
goodness.
interrupt me.
This Node 1 in this chapter is riddled with references. That's neat.
This will hurt longer if I miss.
Do I have to do this?
That's what it's all about.
If I had an infinite amount of free time, I would read. I would unironically read at least most of the references or literature referenced here. Alas. Hey, I wasn't reading. Hold on. The anatomies are left behind in the cold, but the flustered young rider still dares not stop running. Until she stumbles on a patch of wet and mushy snow. Ugh.
Oh, gracias a Dios. Creo que los perdimos. Are you alright?
Oh.
Gracias.
Better to kiss the ground than kiss the gendarme's boots, if one must choose. Wait a second. Doris, is that you? Funny how life moves in circles and puts an old friend in my
Hello?
path. How have you been? Are you paying
My
another
head is
visit to
blocking
Comala?
Doris.
Hey, what is this implication? A name far from the sky, offered by a girl who has just face planted and cannot see the figure before her.
Timekeeper. Could she mean her, Dr. Doris?
Let me scooch my head.
Was I mistaken?
What are these constant references and implications that Verdun looks like Doris / Erd? Oh my god. As her vision clears, it becomes apparent that fate is not a perfect loop. At least the person holding the suitcase in front of her is not the same woman she met before.
How strange. I've never seen two people so alike.
Hello? We just started.
Please, forgive me. It's been a long day.
No need to apologize. In fact,
I mean, they have the same hair
the
color.
person you just mentioned sounds like someone we're looking for.
Don't know about the eyes.
Could you tell me where you last saw her?
Sure, Excuse me.
Oh.
You're not
So
from
cute.
around here, are you? Your accents and those clothes give you away. Come with me. I know a warmer place to talk.
Takes us to the prison. Oh boy. Ooh, hello. Trails. Whole bunch. Let's
The
see.
moment armies start to march.
Speed reading.
You fight or fall back. Charge forward or run. I don't see a start time on this report. Nor does it state the reason for or the demands of this war. Ah, a literary war. Words must fulfill their duties to their creators, just as soldiers must answer to their commander. You don't? The young writers have all been exiled. In dark days of bloody conflict, soldiers often find comfort in scriptures and verses, or in letters from their loved ones. They hold those words close, a fragile piece of home.
Tales all this time.
But as they fall one by one, they learn the bitter truth. In dreams, maybe. Walking the street, but live there too long, and the lines between fiction and reality will blur. And soon, you'll never wake up again.
That feels like foreshadowing, but okay.
Soldiers crawl through trenches, while words are forever trapped within the confines of poetry, made to live. Ugh, I can't stand the way poets talk.
Narrator 3. Uncle 3? Oh my god. Uncle. That's fun. Authorities, always so flexible. Buenos Aires Division, intake report. The Buenos Aires Division has received members of the Storm Research Team, Ulrich and Regulus. Both are to be temporarily stationed at the division while undergoing basic health examinations. The timekeeper and her assistant have received the message upon landing at Tierra del Fuego and have departed on a mission. The message source and details of the operation have been reported by Soneto. Our side currently has no access. Other survivors taken in: Barcarola, pureblood arcanist and musician aboard the Free Breeze. Fatutu, pureblood arcanist and a member of the Nucoteo people. Further investigation of her people is required. For the full risk level assessment reports, the attachment is 1 to 135. Poetry, dramatic stress disorder. Writing, oh my god, poetry is can get so complicated. Even just like what little poetry I've done for like my mandatory English classes, oh my god, it gets serious. But I mean, writing is a window to the heart, you know, to the soul, not the heart. Ushuaia port explosion. Oh, Tremors from the explosion at Ushuaia port shook the surroundings for nearly 10 seconds, after which strong winds carried the flames across the dock area. Thick smoke spread for several kilometers. What the hell is a kilometer? The explosion injured 12 people, over 200 residents were evacuated, and it took the Navy and Fire Department nearly 6 hours to contain the fire. Unfortunately, key logistics facilities were reduced to ruins. Investigations confirmed that the explosion originated from 3 sources: an oil storage tank and 2 cargo warehouses along the third dock. However, the disproportionate scale of the explosion raises suspicions of arcane skill involvement. It is still unclear whether this incident is related to the Xeno mutiny, and simultaneous investigations are ongoing into other arcanist organizations that may be responsible. What the hell is this? You call this a report? This is all you're handing in? Panic is already spreading. Do I need to remind you that Ushuaia is our nearest deep water port? Flames higher than a lighthouse. Seawater dyed blood red. This catastrophe is bringing up painful memories of the war from over a decade ago. Our wounds are being torn open in the worst way possible, and after all this time I gave you to investigate, you're just giving me a list of possibilities? A few days ago, people suspected that those lunatics locked up in prison. Those people locked up in prison, but what the hell can they even do besides bash their heads against barbed wire and spout their pathetic rhetoric? Maybe they scribbled out a doppelganger on a pile of backwards poetry, conjured up a few imaginary hot air balloons to float them to the port, and then molded a ton of bombs from mud and ice. Fat chance. The only thing you got right was not including them in your list of suspects. Otherwise, I'd have thrown you in that prison alongside them. Oh boy. Huh. Honestly, wish the Barca Tutu chapter was main story so vital. I've heard. Oh my god, one of my friends was telling me that I have to read. I forgot the title of the event, but I have to read that event. And I was like, okay, I will. But that won't be rerunning for like a good while, so I'm not sure if I should just watch it on YouTube. I'll see. That was the last evening, which takes place directly before this, but relevant for Chapter 9. It's pretty relevant. I can't read. For Chapter 10. Oh boy. Yeah, maybe I should just watch it on YouTube. If I'm gonna stream Chapter 10 next week, I might just have to watch it on YouTube instead of waiting for a rerun. I'll report back to you guys on my thoughts. More than circles, a ring that closes on itself. That is far from enough to define the essence of fate.
According to these news reports from Ushuaia, there was an arcane attack on the pier about a week ago. All the ships in the port were destroyed.
For me, they should have switched it with Chapter 9 being the event instead.
Responsible for this? Or perhaps the Xeno rebels?
Hard to say. But things have been suspiciously quiet these past few days.
Last evening, that's pretty important to Ulrich's part in the chapter in Storm. Okay.
After we lost track of the Manus.
I'll watch it on YouTube.
They would have gone to ground somewhere remote.
I'll make sure to get to that before Chapter 10.
It's possible they've already left Ushuaia. For whatever reason, it seems they haven't been pushing for the storm to happen quite as eagerly as before. I have a strange feeling about it all. They're definitely up to something. For now, it seems our new friend's story lines up with the intel from Moth. It seems the Xeno rebels really did bring Dr. Dorez here. We should see if there's anything more she can tell us.
Timekeeper.
The chief assistant hesitates.
The Foundation doesn't have any intelligence on Tierra del Fuego. If the Manus really are here, then we'll be on our own. The closest Foundation branch is in Buenos Aires, 3,200 kilometers away.
She reflects without words, a reminder that the chaos caused by Igor's rebellion is still fresh.
Careful and well considered as ever, Soneto. It's possible they've already infiltrated Ushuaia.
I miss Soneto.
Just as they did in Chisos.
I've missed her.
But the Xeno rebels may still be holding Dorez. We can't just wait around. I'm afraid we'll have to take the risk.
I don't know why it feels like it's been 5 billion years
if
since I've seen Soneto.
We'll notice. Stay sharp.
Understood, Timekeeper. I'll keep an eye out for them and for Dr. Dorez.
After a chaotic hunt and escape, the cafe regains its usual peace. Gnaves are gone, and so too are Recoletta's companions.
My friends.
Dang.
They're really gone. Adios, Recoleta. I don't think we'll meet again. So that's all I
Crazy
get?
last words to hear.
We could have exchanged some farewell poems, read them out loud like we used to, and shed a few bitter tears over our heartfelt goodbyes. But you know what they say. Goodbyes are only a senseless feast of unhappiness.
Don't say that.
Oh, it's nothing. Never mind. Please, sit down.
After all I've
could
been
we get
through.
a pot of mate with mint, please?
Thank you.
Recoleta watches with interest as the two girls take the offered cups of tea.
So you're looking for Doris? I can tell she's important to you from your look. Correct. Is there anything more you
I like
could
how
tell us
Recoleta's
about
like
the day you
coat
met her?
is like a little tattered.
Of course. It was one of those gray, overcast afternoons.
Oh. Story time.
I had just turned onto Calle Bolivar when I ran into this blind woman on my way to the post office. To be exact, I didn't run into her. She called to me. It felt like a sacred moment in time, like something unworldly. I just stood there, frozen, as she walked up and fixed a loose thread on my sweater. I stared at her until my fingers went numb, and the letter almost slipped out of my hand.
Miss, could you tell me what's in that direction?
Well, I mean, at least
I
she's
followed her hand
mostly
as she pointed
okay.
forward. Strangely, even though I could see she was blind,
After Igor's
I had a feeling that she knew
whole
exactly
thing.
where she was pointing and where she intended to go. That's the way to Comala prison, Senora. Is that where you're headed? I could walk you there if you'd like.
Thank you, miss. But I think I found my way.
She held a typewriter. How ironic that God would give her, at once, both books and night. I am Recoleta. What may I call you, miss? I hope you don't mind me asking, Senora. I didn't mean to pry. It's only that I have to know. You're a writer too, aren't you? I've been working on a novel and
Oh,
for
the
some
autism.
reason, I have this feeling you could be a character in it. Forgive me. I'm just so excited. I really want to remember this moment. Please, may I have your name? Or whatever you'd like me to call you?
I get her so bad though.
I don't think I'll ever forget her smile.
I also
It was soft.
I also make characters
kind,
based off of
almost
strangers I see on
merciful.
the street.
And oddly, it felt so ancient.
No offense taken, Miss Recoleta. But first, I have a question for you. What does literature mean to you?
Sorry? What a question it was. I wasn't expecting anything like it.
You're a writer, are you not? And one I sense with purpose. Tell me, where does such powerful motivation come from?
Actually, well, I'm not sure, Senora. I have my pursuits and questions, but literature is neither the goal nor the answer to them. Literature is, well, it's just literature. I suppose if I had to define it, I'd say it's a tool. A kindling for fire, or a lens to see through. A means to explore and raise questions from different angles and express our perspectives.
And what an interesting perspective you've expressed. I see. But how does literature make you feel?
As though I'm a kid looking through a kaleidoscope for the first time. Well, maybe that's not the best way to put it. Perhaps something a little more subtle. Just when I was looking for the right word, she turned away with a little wave, heading toward the prison, her feet crunching over the fine snow. So she must have gone to the prison. When did all of this happen? About 3 days ago.
I remember the sun came out for a while that day, and the streets were glistening with melting snow. You've heard of Comala prison, haven't you?
Word by word, the question turns from an implication into a declaration.
3 days ago. Then we may be able to catch up with her there, Timekeeper.
You're right. We need to get there as soon as we can.
Whoa, amazing. So decisive, assertive. A true show of character. You must be the very archetype of a charismatic leader.
Inspiration strikes.
What's left to say? Whenever the protagonist has what they want fall into their laps, we're all quick to complain about lazy writers using Deus Ex Machina to keep the story together. So, let's not dwell on it.
She reconciles this observation with a silent nod to an unseen author.
But anything can happen in a place like Ushuaia. It's a city where the day may only last 4 hours, and the streets are full of exiled arcanists.
We appreciate your help.
Did you just say the day lasts 4 hours?
Recoleta.
Oh, I guess it's winter.
Please, think nothing of it.
I could never.
Miss Recoleta, I'm Vertin, and this is Sonetto. We're investigators from the St. Pavlo Foundation.
I know the fourth wall breaks.
Pleasure to meet
Our lovely
you.
protagonist.
Likewise, likewise. Glad that I could help. But listen, ladies.
The girl winks playfully.
Everything happens for a reason, and now it's becoming clear. You're going to Comala prison, and so am I. Maybe it's fate that brought us together.
At the very southern tip of South America, I see.
What's your business there? If you don't mind our asking.
Oh, it's a writer's mission. But anyway, we're friends now.
A writer's mission.
If you're going to Comala, you'll need someone who knows the way.
Alright. Got a little travel buddy. Oh my god, wait. This is completely random. Does anybody know why in the Chinese fandom, and I think maybe the Japanese fandom, why Sonetto and Burden's ship name is TK-14, or the other way around? I know TK is Timekeeper, but where does the 14 come from? This is so random. I just remembered it now. But I think I was looking at freaking fanfiction or something. And I keep seeing TK-14 or 14TK. Something like that. I assume it's supposed to be a pun, but I'm not really sure. Historically, the town of Ushuaia originally was home to just 400 people until 1,100 convicts were exiled here. Jesus. Not hard to see why. After all, this little town has a chill to it that pierces the bone. Even the rain feels unapologetic and bleak. The exiles soon became essential for the town. They cut the lumber, built generators, and survived the harsh winters along with townspeople. Some stayed after the release, and with time the town prospered. A town so deeply intertwined with stories of exile and imprisonment. Don't you think that gives it a certain mysterious, intricate, unspoken charm? It kinda does. In the cold and silence of the polar night, a pair of warm hands can warm not just your hearty, but also your heart. Even if those hands belong to a death row convict exiled here? Of course, even if they belonged to a waddling penguin, they would still be the hands of a friend. Oh, penguin. Over the years, we could even end up like family. Indeed, I think I understand how the residents and prisoners integrated. Surviving in the harsh climate of polar regions like this isn't easy. Prisoners couldn't make it alone. The harsh nature of their surroundings taught them a simple truth: no person survives on their own. Such poetic wordings. Sonetto, you really ought to try your hand at poetry. It is an act of outpouring one's feelings and taking a journey through one's own mind. A journey through your mind. Thanks for the suggestion. Perhaps I'll consider giving it a try in the future. Ooh, I want to see Sonetto poetry. Sonnets are 14-line poem. Oh! That's cute. I see. That's so cute. What the heck? But I've only ever seen it with, the Chinese fandom. But then I think, what do you call it? I feel like I only see American or overseas fans just call them, what is it? Just like Verdinetto or something? I don't remember. She is poetry. She is. Chinese really don't play with their fanfics and shipping. I know. Oh my god. They kind of scare me sometimes, but also it's kind of peak. The place that time forgot. Excellent. Everything is going according to plan. Fate will not reveal its hand. At least not for now. There's so many Chinese fanfics on AO3 in the reverse tags. Great. The gray riverbed winds through the frostbitten earth, disappearing into the distant horizon. A neat yet dilapidated circular complex stands alone beneath the snow-capped mountains, as if abandoned by God, humanity, and ghosts alike. Outside the fence, 3 uninvited guests discuss their plan to get inside. Okay, I guess we're getting in anyways.
Behold, Comala Prison. It's the biggest building around. When the sun comes out, it looks like a rusty button stitched into the earth. Everyone tries not to pay attention to it, but it's undoubtedly one of the most important places in town. This way. Careful. We're heading uphill. Oops!
The young rider begins to slip again. She's prevented only by Sonetto's quick reflexes.
Thanks. So, my new friends.
A lot of her
You're
world
from that
view at the
St.
beginning of the game is
Emelina's?
from poems she's read. Ooh.
St. Pavlov Foundation.
Emelina.
And Vertin is the timekeeper there.
Ah, very impressive. Sounds all official and polished. Then, I take it you've already got away into the prison?
The gate presents an unwelcoming face to the world.
I'll draft a letter to headquarters right away. Once they approve it, they'll notify the local branch in Buenos Aires. From there, they'll need to inform the Argentine government.
I don't think we're gonna do all
Who will
that.
then issue us a permit.
Oh, Sonetto.
Excellent. Looks like our bureaucrats still have some worth. No offense intended, of course.
Since we're pressed for time, I believe we can ask that headquarters give high priority to our request. If all goes well, we should have the permit in about a month.
No.
How expedient of them. But you know what? Maybe we shouldn't bother all those hard-working
Says that if
government
Recoleta
officials
knows
with
what the
these
timekeeper
trifling
title
matters
means.
after all.
Recoleta has a bit of like a that she had. I don't. What's the word for that?
I
What
have
is that
a
trope?
simpler solution that
That like
suits the
she has a little bit of
urgency
that
our
ditzy
cause.
airhead vibe, but like not entirely.
That sounds great. Oh, where are you going, Miss
I think it's just a result of her hyper fixating on writing. Before anyone can stop her, the young rider hurls herself up the wall, scaling the side with the sort of skill that immediately suggests she's done this before.
To the other side of the wall, of course. From Guadalajara to Ushuaia. There has yet to be a wall that could stop me.
She and Kakanya
Come
could
on,
be
ladies of the
friends.
Foundation. Sonetto, take my hand.
Sonetto looks utterly flustered.
Miss Recoleta, please. A reckless act like that could have serious consequences. Please come back down. In fact, while the details of our mission are classified, I should warn you it may be dangerous, and we cannot guarantee
You got that
your
childish
safety
wonder
once
and
we're
curiosity inside of her while
Perhaps
being a
it's in your
dork.
best
Yeah, I
interest
think
to return to
dork
town.
is the perfect word for Recoleta.
That is definitely not in my best interest. What sort of pusillanimous coward would I be if I just abandoned my fated companions here? Of course I'm going in with you. Or rather, you're coming with me.
Oh, okay.
Please get down, Miss Recoleta. Someone's coming our way.
From the other side of the prison fence, a predator's gaze locks onto the figure perched on the wall, of course.
Stop right there. What do you think you're doing?
Caramba, it's her again. The jailer of Comala.
Did she say jailer or jaguar?
Yes. Oh boy. Let's see this.
I have all the essentials
Oh.
for writing poetry. You, me,
That's a
and
jag.
our
Oh, okay. That's an actual jaguar. Hi. Oh, you're kind of cute.
Ready?
Why do they? How do? Oh my god. Reverse draws
I've got
animals
some
so
trouble
cute
breeds.
for some reason.
In todos los movimientos. Fresh from the crucible. Fire.
Huh.
Time with
Okay.
no-
Not what I was
even for a
expecting.
great
But I'm not entirely surprised either. Well, bye. Jailer Jaguar.
Exactly.
Nice ring to it.
Miss Recoleta, haven't I made myself clear? I don't want to see you here.
Oh, this is so goofy.
Jailer, we meet again. What a delightful encounter on such a...
A sudden gust of cold wind interrupts her.
lovely day.
Right.
Would you please just leave this place alone? I'll never understand why a promising young woman like you...
A talking jaguar is one of the more normal things in this game. Honestly,
I
yeah.
can't make this any clearer. Trying to break into Comala will do nothing to get you inside, but it will get you into a world of trouble with the Gendarmeria. So, will you stop these senseless breaking attempts? Comala prison is only accessible to academic researchers and journalists. And even they must have official credentials in order to enter.
Isn't there any other way to pay a visit? I truly do need to get in there.
She racks her brain for a plausible excuse.
Sorry to interrupt, but did you just say official credentials?
We have
Yes,
that.
You heard me right. And you are?
I'm the timekeeper of the St. Pavlov Foundation. My assistant and I are here to visit Comala prison on official orders from the Foundation. Here, this is my ID.
Oh my god, are we getting in? Like normally? Mostly normally? At the thought of lying, Zanetta's lips fail to open for even a squeak. She goes flush red with embarrassment. Aww. Through the prison fence, the jailer examines the pair. She takes the ID in her sizable paws. Mugshot. It is at least a very presentable looking card, boldly stamped with the seal of the St. Pavlov Foundation.
This is indeed legitimate.
She murmurs. Must be destroyed when Animus once lost.
Welcome to Comala prison.
Oh my god, we're in.
Apologies for my earlier behavior. It's been a while since we've had any official visitors.
Okay. You're welcome, Recoleta. Got you in after multiple failed attempts, I guess. Comala's collars. For a drifter, a stay behind an iron-barred window can feel just like another stretch of desert. What? Did you say desert? What? I can't read.
Día tras día, la investigadora de paracausalidad se escondía en la naturaleza fuera del pueblo de Amalfitano, estudiando los datos que había recolectado.
Oops.
Una tarde, al anochecer, una voz llamó desde fuera de su cueva. Ella dejó el equipo y las cintas y salió afuera. Un hombre estaba de pie, curioso, frente a su puerta. ¿Qué haces aquí?, preguntó, levantando ambas cejas. Nada sucede en Amalfitano en estos días. El local se presentó como el empleado del banco. Probablemente tenía la cara más amable del lugar. Ojos brillantes, mejillas levantadas, una mandíbula suave. Era una cara llena de esperanza. La investigadora le mostró los espectros que había estado recopilando. He estado recolectando historias sobre el dado, explicó. Quizás ellos contienen la clave para explicar la aleatoriedad que muestra el destino. Ah, eso realmente me intriga, respondió rápidamente el empleado del banco. Me encantaría escuchar todo sobre eso.
I love hearing
Pero debo
her
irme.
tell stories.
No debo llegar tarde al funeral del pescador de dunas. Y con eso,
I'd listen to a Recoleta audiobook.
3 días después,
Although I don't.
los mismos pasos regresaron a su
I
cueva.
don't know enough Spanish.
¿Volviste? ¿Cómo has estado? ¿Lograste llegar al funeral?, preguntó. No tengo idea de lo que estás hablando, respondió de manera cortante. No soy el hombre que crees que soy. Su rostro estaba agotado y demacrado, sus ojos hundidos profundamente en huecos vacíos. Era como si toda chispa de vida le hubiera sido arrancada, dejándolo solo con una cáscara vacía. La investigadora insistió que no se había equivocado. Conozco a las personas por su naturaleza más profunda, hasta la sincronización de sus espectros. Nunca me he equivocado antes. Lo que tú digas, el hombre murmuró de manera áspera. No entiendo nada de tus ideas tan elevadas. Solo déjame ir. Ha sido un largo día de pesca y lo único que quiero ahora es desplomarme en mi cama tambaleante. Se alejó con pasos que sonaban exactamente como los del empleado del banco.
As you might have noticed, Miss Burton, this facility isn't just a prison. It's also a research center. Its full name is the Panopticon of Comala. It was established by the Foucault Association in 1975. We've hosted workshops, academic sessions, and even lectures about the Panopticon. You may even have seen some reports about it. Experts of psychoanalysis and scholars from various fields have come here to exchange ideas and seek collaboration in their studies. In many ways, the Panopticon is unlike any other prison you've seen before.
I see. No wonder Miss Recoleta has gone to such lengths to become a part of it. Actually, my assistant and I are here to inquire about a prisoner named Doris. Does that name sound familiar?
What if she was not a prisoner? Just walked in. This place is creepy.
Could she have used a different name? What does she look like?
She'd have arrived here about 3 days ago. It's also possible that she came as a visitor, not a prisoner. She's a blind woman who always carries an old typewriter. She used to be a doctor at the Sao Paulo Veterans Residence in Brazil. And on the subject of different names, she once wrote for Atu, under the name Erd.
I don't think I've seen anyone fit in that description. And as I said, we haven't had any visitors in some time. Certainly not in the last 3 days.
But I did see her. I saw her walking towards Comala prison.
Someone must have mixed up their memories. Simply put, I don't recall seeing anyone by that name or with that description here.
I see. Thank you, miss. Perhaps we made a mistake.
Sensing that her current line of questioning is going nowhere, she shifts toward a different topic.
Miss Recoleta, you've gone to great lengths to get into the Panopticon. Would you mind telling us why?
Finally! I've been waiting for you to ask. I'm here to find my pen pal in Comala.
Pen pal?
You have a pen pal? In here?
Yes. 6 months ago, I went to a book exhibition in Guadalajara and came across the contact details of a few writers. I sent them my novel and asked for feedback. Looking back, it was a bit forward, but nothing unheard of between writers. A lot of friendships start through letters, you see.
She's braver than I am. I would never do that with one of my writing. Recoleta produces a thick stack of letters from her coat. Oh my goodness. The recipient's address changes with each letter, reflecting the turbulent lifestyle of the wandering writer. Yet the sender's address is eternally constant, Comala.
And how much do you know about this pen pal of yours?
Oh, well, he calls himself Aleph, which is a grammatically masculine word, so...
So you assume Aleph is a man?
Woke word in. A reasonable suspicion, but in her experience, never a certainty.
Yes, he's probably a poet, a writer, perhaps even an alchemist. He's one of the brightest people I know. There's never been a question that he couldn't answer. I've asked him about religion, politics, history, potions.
God,
even
how funny would it
critters
be
and
if he was
length and
actually a
breadth.
woman?
Can you imagine someone who knows all those things and so extensively too? And he helped me with my novel. He always seems to know the best ways to bring my characters to life. Honestly, he's so insightful. I've begun wondering if he's omniscient. With his help, my story grew richer and fuller, like a well-tended plant. Strangely, can't seem to take it any further now. It's as if the roots have been sapped of their strength. I couldn't understand why, so I resolved that I would see him in person to find out.
Again with this story about your uncanny pen pal? I've already told you a dozen times. It's all very moving, but it still doesn't justify your actions. Writers experience mental blocks all the time, yet you don't see them trying to break into a prison over it.
She does have a point.
Please, Burden, Jailer, have a little mercy, will you?
Hold on. I've been meaning to ask. Why are you only calling her Jailer? Don't you know her name? Or do you just prefer addressing people by their occupation?
Oh, about that.
Oh my god. Unexpectedly, it is the Jaguar herself that speaks up.
It's okay, Miss Verton. I don't mind being called by my job title. I take pride in what I do.
Something tells me she doesn't know her
I'm perfectly
name.
fine with just being the jailer.
Exactly. A researcher is a researcher, and a jailer is a jailer. Titles and code names often tell us more about people than their ordinary given names, don't you think? Take Soneto, for example. Your name comes from sonnets, doesn't it?
Oh.
That great poetic form from Italy.
Okay.
Some people mistakenly think Shakespeare invented it. Some say it was Petrarca, though no one really knows when the first sonnet was written. Sorry, I'm straying from my point. You're Italian, aren't you, Soneto? Is that your real name, or just a code name? Were your parents poets?
Chose the perfect time to ask about TK14.
As much as I'd like to be able to answer your question, I never knew my parents. My earliest memories were of the School of Primary Defense of Mankind. I've lived there since I was a small child.
My apologies. That was thoughtless of me.
It's fine. You meant no ill intent, I'm sure. Timekeeper, if Miss Recoleta was right about Dr. Doris's whereabouts, perhaps the jailer is keeping things from us. Or perhaps Dr. Doris visited the panopticon without her knowledge. Either way, we need to do some digging here.
I agree. Let's see if we can talk to some of the inmates and find out what they know.
Are we allowed to do that? Okay. As they chat, the corridors, until now endless, reach a terminal point with voices echoing ahead.
Ladies, we're about to enter the main hall of the panopticon.
Soneto, isn't the jailer right next to you? Oh my god, right?
Spend their recreation time. At these hours,
Casually talking about the potential
but what's all
for
that noise?
someone breaking into the prison without her knowing.
Miss
Unusual
Verton,
amount of
could
noise.
you keep an eye on Recoleta if anything happens?
Recoleta tries her best to avoid the hard stare of the feline jailer by blending into the Foundation team.
Certainly.
What do you take me for? I'm not going to run away. That'd be a pretty cheesy way to start a story.
It'd be kind of funny.
Please, just stay close to me.
By the way, there's like liminal space with like this freaking beach ball. What is up with that? Liminal spaces freak me out so bad. And for what? And for what? Oh my god. What is all this? Darkness has no form. The ever-shifting gaze seeps into every crevice. Hello? Oh, did I miss a trail? I'll come back to it. Looks like we got a new arrival. It's pitch black in here. Can't be sure she's new just yet. Hey there, welcome to the Lasios. Oh my goodness. Society of Poets. Or maybe she's one of those who broke out and came back of her own accord. Keeping quiet, huh? I get it. There must be a sacred... This must be a sacred moment for you. A return to the darkness. Don't really know what's happening. What the heck is this? We're in the corridor again.
La Sociedad de Poetas. De las... Americas?
Great job. The texture she felt on her way here do not match the words she just heard. Guided by her keen hearing, she pauses mid-step in what seems to be a reasonably open space. Oh, is this how Dores sees things? I don't think so. The room falls into silence like the longest minute in human history. Are you still there? A faint cough, a heave of a sigh in the darkness. Pardon me, but have we met before? This is my first time in this prison as far as I can recall. What a strange thing to say, prison. When was the last time we heard someone say that? Back when the narrator was published. Wait, you aren't some ancient ghost here in pursuit of realism, are you? There was a theatrical flair in her voice. Oh my goodness. That looks kind of greasy. Rusty gates, pitch black cells, prison. Bars for exchanging letters, a peaceful and secluded place. Sociedad de Poetas. And no, we don't know you. The three of them are spaced just far enough to barely make out each other's faces in the dark. Oh my goodness. This is kind of cool. Though this is basically Daredevil? Okay, I see. What a wonderful example, Garcia. Exactly, it all depends on how you choose to see the world, my new friend. Roberta, we don't have much time. This might be the most important gathering of the month. No, maybe even of the year. You're right, Garcia. And at this moment, nothing is more important than the salon the idealist has so carefully prepared. You should focus on sorting out those manuscripts first.
Pardon the interruption, but might I ask?
Oh, okay. Why is your organization called La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas? I assume it isn't simply due to geography. De las Americas, excuse me. Don't worry, senora. We make it a point to introduce our sociedad to every new friend, but now isn't quite the time. After the salon ends, we'll ask the jailer about your combinations. Wait a minute. Roberta, your eyes are well adjusted to the dark. Use them. She's neither a newcomer nor a returnee. She's a blind woman. Please forgive Garcia's rudeness, senora. A sensory limitation can sometimes bring sharper intuition. In that colorful world of the mind, I'm sure what you see is even more beautiful than reality. It's kind of spooky. But if you weren't brought in by the physician, then why are you here? She tries to construct a fiction in her mind, something that could justify the surreal nature of her arrival. From the human trade winds of Sao Paulo to the crashing surf of the cliffs, now the strange land greets me for the first time with nothing but cold silence. Oh my god, Miss Grace. Miss Urt is to be placed in Ushuaia's Comala prison. She is not to be treated as an ordinary inmate. In the words of the preacher, you are our honored guest, Miss Urt.
I've come to learn the name of this land. Ushuaia.
From the young lady's retelling, it lies at the southernmost tip of the vast continent of South America.
As we walked, I could feel her gaze upon me. Steady, yet never intrusive.
But why did it just cut off? I could tell she never meant me no harm. I've informed the administrator of Comala prison that your identity and special circumstances, he will ensure your safety. Oh, she really did slip past the jailer, huh? Good luck and farewell.
I sensed I had been brought to a place most unusual. A building with a quiet peculiarity in the air.
Two attendants followed close behind me, some form of liquid dripping from their faces.
I suppose I must claim a little freedom for myself in this place.
I thought the darkness was a blessing. It wasn't too difficult to shake them off.
I'm sorry for your undue trouble, my diligent friends.
Ooh, excuse me. Hold on.
I'm here for a short visit, hoping to find
Why does
some
it...
inspiration for my next story.
See, Garcia, this lady is a writer, a good soul. You almost made us miss out on meeting a kindred spirit. Come, I'm sure you'll fall in love with our salon. This has nothing to do with me. It's dark in here, but I suppose you've already grown used to walking in the dark. Sorry, I meant no offense. Oh. Back in color. That's kind of cool. Her POV. I do wish all of it was voice. Let's head back a little. The National... I know someone said this word and I was not listening. I don't remember how to pronounce it. The National Focal Studies Association was founded by scholars alongside the junta, to support the study of Foucault's theories and further exploration of social structures. Thus, a regular column was established in this publication where contributions from all perspectives are welcome and encouraged. This newspaper is about as old as I am, and you somehow managed to find a copy. Yes, the panopticon of Comala was founded by the National Focal Studies Association as a site for experimental psychoanalysis. I read about it. A single watcher could observe all prisoners, and since the prisoners never knew if they were being watched or not, the surveillance system infiltrated every detail of their lives. Foucault? Okay. It is smart, isn't it? The actual surveillance remains unseen, yet the prisoners, nonetheless, end up trapped in a closed, fragmented structure. Oh, those were my pen pal words. He also said it was a significant experiment for the government at the time. Within that era, Foucault psychoanalysis seemed more like a means to an end. Huh. Wait, so if I'd been born a few decades earlier, would I have needed to try so hard to get into this prison? Wouldn't the anonymous have locked me up just for writing or speaking out? I may not always understand you, but I sincerely hope you're joking now. Back then, people faced more than just imprisonment. There were disappearances, torture, and many deaths. Alright, I apologize. That was probably a bit inappropriate for a joke, I admit. Please relax, Soneto. Oh, Recoleta. The things you do. Perhaps the pen pal you see is the one you never see is the one you truly need. Check the letters. Aleph, my dear... Was it Aleph or Aleph? Aleph? Aleph, my dear pen pal, enclosed is the latest version of my novel. In your last letter, you suggested the role of a bank clerk, marking a Malfitano with a stamp of the capitalist production model. An excellent idea. In this revision, I have incorporated some of my own thoughts as well. That is everything about my novel that I was impatient to share with you. Perhaps you wouldn't mind me discussing something else. Throughout my creative journey, your encouragement and validation have been my greatest comfort when facing the countless closed doors of publishers. The long, futile efforts feel insignificant in the face of your understanding. Oh, my dear pen pal, I say this sincerely, though I suppose such explanations are unnecessary. Perhaps I do not need to waste more ink describing just how much your letters mean to me. So I ask with both sincerity and trepidation, may we speak in person about the dead, the desert, the desert fate, the ending that troubles me so much, and the tides of imagination and insight that carry us both. Recoleta, at the poetry gathering in the Santa Fe de Bogota's Open Air Theater, Colombia, Jesus. Miss Recoleta, as I've mentioned several times in my letters, and as you may have already surmised, I reside in a prison. That is why I never met my pen pals in person. Due to its remote location and cold climate, Ushuaia is not a place people readily visit. People would rather sip a hot drink in one of Buenos Aires' century-old cafes than travel such a distance. Finally, I still wish you the best on your creative path. Aleph, at the Comala prison in Ushuaia. So are they... So they're still... I feel like they're still doing those... experiments. That's what they said, that, like, the whole... Like, that's kind of what it was made for, right? What was it again? Psychoanalysis? No, I don't know if it's the same as the original Foucault stuff that Soneto was talking about. Book of Madness and Civilization talked about how the ruling class used madness as a way to other and dehumanize their political opponents and people they disliked. If you call someone mad, you discredit them and their kind. I see. Ooh, there's a lot of people here. A Latin American fable. A salute to a literary society born within a prison. No, a tribute to an impossible miracle. Why is this place like flooded? There's like beach balls and stuff. It's so... What's the word? It's so uncanny, this place.
I didn't expect any of this from what we saw outside.
Cool core asylum. Literally, though. My god, this place is huge. The modeled yet pristine walls, the still waters, the silent white tower standing within the labyrinth. Nearby, several prisoners form a circle, some standing, some sitting, engaged in conversation.
Oh, excuse me for a moment. I have duties that I must attend to.
Okay, bye. With a sigh, the jailer steps into the gathering, causing a strangely subdued reaction from the prisoners.
They don't seem intimidated by her at all.
Yeah. They just look like a bunch of artists having a chat in the garden. And the jailer seems to be like a grumpy neighbor coming over to ask them to keep it down.
The grumpy neighbor continues her chastising.
Everyone, you know the rules. There are to be no after-hours gatherings here without the physician's approval.
Like the idea that the prisoners have pool parties every now and then.
You sound softer and
I like
softer
that.
each time you come to warn us. Why not just join us? Isn't it better than circling around the panopticon all day? And look around you. We're in the Hall of New Encounters. What better place to host a salon?
You're missing out in Comala if you don't even get a taste of our literature.
Exactly. Even those oil-dripping musicians drop by from time to time. Not that they're the kind to care about the beauty of words.
Oil-dripping musicians? Timekeeper, could they mean...
Before the jailer can say anything else, two of the prisoners simultaneously gesture for her to stay silent, pointing to the center of their gathering.
Quiet now, please. The Ediles Salon is about to start.
Why is the text glitching? Hello?
These people seem friendly enough. Why don't we see what this is about?
En desiertos, en estrellas, dentro de laberintos.
En aguas, en espejos.
I'm being
dentro
gaslit
de
right now.
reflejos.
Soñamos sobre la almohada de paja de la muerte.
Aquí estamos, rendiendo homenaje a los fantasmas.
Para rendirlo todo otra vez.
Wow, there's a lot of people here.
Para rendirlo todo otra vez.
My dear friends, we face a difficult truth. The movement of visceral realism still stumbles in the dark. Our poems, our language, our minds are tangled by a stifling vine. A mundane, stale vision shared among all bourgeoisie.
I like this guy's voice.
We follow this vision blindly, clinging to the comfort brought by logic and
Bourgeoisie.
conventional wisdom. And by it, we nip every branch of new art in the bud. Poems are perhaps too fragile an outgrowth to develop one's life upon. But here, we may light them like candles at our funerals. Let poetry become the bridge between us and the world.
A lone clap breaks the silence. It comes earlier than all the other cheers from the audience. A very enthusiastic
As we come
clap.
back and forth over the boundaries of life and death, the old obstacles begin to take on a new look. With the eyes of poets, we may see behind them. You're a visceral realist.
She found her
Can't
people.
be mistaken. You must be...
The idealist's eyes pierce through the grove of literary enthusiasts, reaching a distant, drifting new world.
A lonely cowboy.
What eyes?
Finally home. What a wonder. You're in time. The salon has just begun. And La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas isn't like those salons that care more about who's invited than the art. All are welcome here.
A literary salon in a prison? Though, so far it seems to have more dancing than poems.
Did you understand what that man just said?
No, sorry, Timekeeper. I need a moment to think it through.
Me too, Soneto.
Don't worry, Soneto. I would guess we're not the only ones who are confused here. Miss Jailer, is this that peculiarity about Comala you mentioned earlier?
Enough, idealist. You're still an inmate here, and you are walking a very fine line right now.
Oh, I'm quite aware of where I am and what lines I tread.
A lot of people being called by titles instead of names.
The safest place for poets in this part of the continent. One cannot be arrested twice, after all.
The man's words draw laughter from the other prisoners as they turn to discuss the speech with excitement.
But please, don't trouble yourself with our little farce. What harm could a few poets possibly do?
All the irregular rhymes and wild contradictions of aesthetics converge into a chaotic counter-current, crashing against the newcomers. Recoleta clenches her fist in shock, certain that the man before her is her mysterious pen pal.
Senor Idealist, might I ask you something?
Hold on, Recoleta. All forms of communication with the inmates must conform to our regulations. We will need to record the conversation and submit it to higher authorities for review.
I have some questions for the gentleman as well, but we're more than willing to follow the rules. I think the person I'm looking for might have attended this literary salon, or at least talked to some of its members. I'd wager she's spoken to that gentleman. That is, if she has been here at all.
I see. Go ahead then. Just watch the time.
As the visitors petition the jailer, Recoleta pushes past the bustling crowd and takes a deep breath.
Are you Aleph?
The noisy atmosphere plunges into silence just like the still waters nearby. Spooky. The idealist is evidently taken aback by the name.
Oh, another visitor looking for Aleph.
So you know him?
Naturally, but I'm not obliged to speak of him to one who does not, stranger.
This brooch thing that he's got is catching my eye.
And you, young lady in the hat, are you here for Aleph as well? What a lively day this is.
No, I'm looking for a blind woman. Her name is Doris.
Ah, yes, I remember. Her writing was impeccable, like an exquisite crocodile skin handbag in a shop window. Elegant, yet condescending.
Do you know where she is now?
I'm not able to keep track of every inmate here, miss.
So she is an inmate?
Perhaps you should ask those who have
I guess that's
seen
what Grace was
everything
saying.
from above. Through the glass, where the scrutinizing eyes of power look down on us.
Eyes?
Ugh, I don't like the music. She scans the prison hall. The walls, the great tower, and the pool remain unchanged. Nothing appears amiss. All the prisoners present nod in agreement, prompting a weary sigh from the jailer.
Have you taken your medicine today, idealist?
I'm feeling marvelous. Today I require no help from them.
I've warned you. It's unwise to act against the physician's orders.
So there are people watching.
Act against him? No one may act against him here. The physician must have misunderstood us. I suspect he doesn't understand half of what we say. I'd like to know how he got his medical degree. Not by cracking open skulls, I should hope.
The prisoners exchange knowing smiles.
What a pity, jailer. You know, I've always believed you had the soul of a poet, just like us. We've already spoken enough rebellious thoughts outside
It's
of
glitching!
Comala.
What is happening?
How else do you think we ended up in your nut house? We've been here far too long. Long after the junta was removed from office. After our home became a deserted wasteland in the aftermath of the Latin American boom.
What are you getting at?
That power is boring, meaningless. Nothing holds on to power forever. And the one true connection we have to life is poetry.
See, jailer? Even an outsider understands our ideas better than you. It's time to open your eyes.
I'm being
to
gaslit right now. Oh my goodness.
La Sociedad is the only way for us to feel truly alive in here, beneath the gaze of those prying, ever-vigilant eyes.
Idealist, last warning. Stop this now.
Ooh.
Fine, fine. All right, compañeros. Sadly, the salon must come to an end, as our jailer insists.
The crowd murmurs and grumbles as they begin to disperse.
Dear friend.
By the way,
I do not mean to abuse.
Is the text that's on his
I
shirt
sincerely invite
readable?
you to come with me to the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas.
Does anyone transcribe
Perhaps
what it says?
You'll find the person you look for there.
Or is it too blurry? The man strikes a gesture somehow equally comedic and solemn.
We'd love to. Only if that's okay with you, Miss Jailer.
I suppose that's all right. You're already here. We can call it part of your tour, but please, ladies, take none of their rumblings seriously.
Thank you, jailer. Please, follow me.
Oh, okay. Why are we fighting? What the hell are these? Hello? The road ahead is unknown. Choose the right direction and the path will reveal itself.
Wait, this isn't the way to the gallery.
It isn't the usual way. It's a shortcut. We call it the reptilian complex and primal hunger route. Much faster than the limbic system and postmodern anxiety route, let me tell you.
What are these words? You were speaking to me, sir.
But this passageway has long been abandoned, and entry is prohibited. It's extremely dangerous too.
Relax, jailer. No one, not even you, knows this prison better than I.
But, Timekeeper, I think we've just gone in a circle.
Okay. Nothing. Right is always right.
Candy. In todos los momentos. I never miss. Most of the time, anyway.
Did I have to break it?
Down. Nuestro adversario se tiene.
Does that do anything? I'm a little confused. Okay.
Candy.
Sure, I guess.
Ready? Aim. Unconventional choice.
Let me just catch up on my chat while we're here then. Visceral realism is a reference to Bolaño's book, The Savage Detective, which asks the question, what's the point of literature? Visceral realism in the book is also a stand-in for magical realism, the movement Borges was most known for. Magical realism. That's such a fascinating, just like out of context. Such a fascinating term.
Filosofía clásica. El fundamento del mundo. 3, 2, 1, down.
Although excuse me. Water. Truthfully, I can't say I know that much about it.
In todos los plans, I got some trouble brewed.
The panopticon is the style of prison where you can see the entire prison from one central point, while not being viewable back. So the central tower is always watching, but you never know if someone really is. We love paranoia. Okay, if I just need to break these, then I can just do a multi-ult. The panopticon was a way to psychologically control the prisoner, since the threat of being watched would make you wary of doing anything. That's true. I can see that being very effective. Okay, I don't really know what that fight was about, or that gimmick was about, but okay.
Let's take a step back. Pull you out of that whirlwind of passion and dreams. If you want to make the best call, you need to zero in on what really matters. A sudden explosion that shook Latin American literary circles about 30 years ago. Lucky for us, we don't have to worry about shell shock in the literary world.
You don't strike me as someone who knows literature. Hey, maybe he does.
It's not about knowing literature. Any soldier with little experience can deliver a status report. As we speak, ships are lined up on the Spanish coast. But this time, and here are our new Columbuses, heading to the docks to embark on their journey. Carmen and Carlos, the driving force behind this literary feast between Spain and Latin America. Carmen, with an eye for opportunity and a mind for business, sought out the continent's literary gems and secured General Carlos, with his deep understanding of market dynamics, brought these works to the eyes of the European public. Then, a golden era began. It all kicked off with a scandal at a military academy. And soon,
a baby
the
with a
entire
pig's
world
tail
was
from far
captivated
away.
by the story of a baby with... But we mustn't forget the writers themselves. Fuentes, a towering figure of the Spanish-speaking world, and Cortázar, the writer ever seeing through the eyes of a child. And of course, Mario and Gabo, key players in this literary revolution. They corresponded regularly, always expressing deep admiration for each other's work. In fact, one even wrote a doctoral thesis on the other. Ah, friendship.
Real.
It was. But no matter how explosive the boom was, it couldn't escape its fleeting nature. With the second imprisonment and self-criticism of a Cuban poet, in came an inexplicable right hook, and bang, silence. The military junta had gripped the poets' throats. The verse of the pioneers was cut off, their voices no longer heard. The bond between two generations was broken, and for the younger of the two, the silence was intolerable. They looked for a new theme, a new idea, a new voice. And they became the new gorillas.
Latin American boom. Much of the idea of madness is about control. You can marginalize other races, women, people with disabilities through calling them psychotics, hysterics, insane, etc. The Baby with a Pig's Tail is a reference to 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Gabo. My goodness. Jam-packed. Maria Vargas Llosa, the second poet they mentioned, punched Gabo and ended their friendship. With a right hook. I read in an article once that you Chileans don't like Baroque literature. Something about it being too noisy. You sure are a quiet bunch. Is that so? And you Argentinians just love it, right? If you're any metric to go by, I'd say you're all loud and obnoxious. Just because the idealist isn't here, you think you can turn this salon into a debate hall? Please, not again. You started it. Enough, stop squabbling and post your work so we can read it. If you ask me, you're simply more interested in rhythm than form. Spanish is a rich language, one that is inherently expressive, ever-changing, and artistic, much like Baroque literature. Is it Baroque or Baroque? I think it's Baroque. I don't know. The typically quiet man's words douse the arguments like a cold splash of water, sending the group into a rare moment of calm. All jokes aside, I do miss them. Ever since those mad members left La Sociedad, we've had far fewer breakthroughs in stream of consciousness writing. I, for one, would gladly discuss the aesthetic value of stream of consciousness composition. What does this mean, stream of consciousness composition? As a new topic surfaces, the inmates' voices begin to rise once again. It was the most unusual literary salon, full of emotionally charged statements and biased opinions, almost based. But I didn't mind it. In fact, my feelings was quite the opposite. The inmates gave me an incredible feeling. Not one of them saw themselves as a prisoner stripped of their freedom. A group of literature enthusiasts coming together in an abandoned prison and collaborating to build an ideal nation. It felt as though it was the result of some kind of pact, when in reality it was clearly a government-run prison. Everyone quiet down, I have something to announce. Hello. An unfamiliar voice cuts off the clacking typewriter in Doris's mind. A woman walks out from the far end of the darkness and steps into the center of the salon, stopping before the whiteboard and podium. Oh my god, I got a whiteboard and everything?
Mr. Idealist entrusted me with hosting the literature salon.
He left a letter under a stone in the corner stating that he had a personal matter to attend to. I cannot tell if this little sun-shaped thing is the same as the brooch that the Idealist has on. For this session, I will now announce our next research topic.
Fiction's duality in reflecting reality and the self.
Whoa. Heavy gasp, turned head, and uproar spread through the audience. Clearly, this wasn't the topic they were expecting. She raises the letter in her hand for a gesture of silence.
Like-minded fellows, aspiring writers.
Since the turn of the century, the names that once shook the literary world have gradually faded into obscurity.
Literature's been shoved aside in the world of art.
Can you just finish your sentences? Okay. People attend theaters, cinemas, and even art galleries to enjoy paintings and sculptures, but few can finish a book. That's true.
What is left for us to do?
When families are torn apart and our nations are ravaged by tyranny...
Let stories be our weapon. They should be the sword that cuts through the bloody truth, the beacon that lights our way forward.
The audience falls into silence. You could try writing a Latin American War and Peace, and we could continue with our original salon topic. Those two aren't mutually exclusive. I spent the whole month preparing for the topic the Idealists previously proposed. If you insist on changing the subject, then I'm afraid I'll have to take my leave. Miss Octavia, forgive me for interrupting, but this isn't the topic we agreed on. Everything you've said, we just can't do that. We haven't even figured out things for ourselves yet. Octavia, it's an interesting topic, it is, but perhaps we can talk about it another time. Besides, don't forget the reason you're here in the first place, for preaching that the novel is a weapon. Yeah, if it weren't for your rich daddy, you'd be on the gallows, not standing here preaching to us. Okay.
Hey!
Oh, another prisoner stands, his voice clear. You completely missed Miss Octavia's point. A great writer should be like an obsessive gravedigger, digging up the rotting flesh of social realism from the grave of our times. Only this vast crucible is worthy to be the host of our literature. What is happening? At that time, Mr. Garcia looked visibly resistant as Mr. Julio issued stern reminders and Miss Roberta attempted to mediate. Oh my goodness, this is getting crazy. More and more members joined the debate, and voices both for and against Miss Octavia's proposal emerged. It didn't take long for La Sociedad to split into two camps. That was when I realized I needed to do something, to get this derailed literary salon back on the tracks.
I'm a writer, and I mostly write under the name Erd.
Why did it... what? Okay.
Erd?
That name sounds familiar.
Have you written for Atu? Are you the Erd in Atu?
Wow, I never imagined we'd be welcoming such an honored guest today. I thoroughly enjoyed your piece titled The Tin Soldiers of Sao Paulo.
It's an important part of my visit to hear all the ideas and opinions, if you'll pardon my intrusion.
Then, tell me, Miss Erd, what are your thoughts on today's salon topic? Like the current one or the one she's proposing? A difficult question, one involving preference, a creative stance, and a political alignment. A scale that is never easily balanced. However, the answer has never been the most important part of such questions.
In these restless times, literature has been overlooked, forgotten, pushed to the edges of the world, much like Ushuaia.
Some fall into deep thought, others not in agreement, and a few look puzzled. The audience is largely unaware that the topic has already shifted. To most, this prison at the end of the world is a distant, cold place, perhaps even a place of hopelessness. When a prisoner is first sent here, I cannot help but imagine that the first thing they feel is a stagnant pool of water and a calm, quiet despair. She seizes this chance to guide the literary salon back from the muddy trenches of ideology. She recalls the days of typing while looking out over the river, boats, and palm trees. Words are honest, they have no capacity to lie. I came here to gather material for my next book. I plan to record everything I experienced in this place, faithfully. Okay, no, that's not the same Bruges thing as the Idealist. And what kind of work are you planning to write? A non-fiction piece, I presume? About Comala prison? Comala? Not Comala. What? Its theme is fate. Fate. A strange circle. Is there another trail? Is there another trail? It's like I have a diamond here. Hello? Was it not just the one I just read? Or am I blind? Hang on. What happened to the trail? And I don't see the little marker. It glitches. Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. So it was the one I just read. Fun fact, Octavia is named after Octavio... My glare. Window. The sun is glaring. I cannot read my chat. Named after Octavio Paz, the famed writer whom Bolaño and the visceral realists thought of as a symbol of institutionalized poetry and gatekeeping. Oh my god. Enough! Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Enough with the gaslighting. 1 second. Water. Doing a lot more reading. Excuse me. Reading out loud than I thought I would. Shadows of the living. Metallic sheen, rippling water, and the shadows that peer back from within the dim reflection. There is a lot going on here. What is this floating thing? Hello? It's like, it looks like a tree without the tree part. Like floating leaves.
La investigadora se despierta en su cueva.
Yes, the trunk. The words left my brain for a moment.
Era poco antes del amanecer. Montones de cintas habían ocupado su espacio.
So this is Recoletta's
apilándose
novel.
Una y otra vez. Cada uno de estos carretes giratorios hablaba de historias sobre esa cabaña con techo azul.
Oh.
Oyó la voz del asesinado conductor de burros detrás de ella. Oigo a todos ellos, las risas y las voces de generaciones pasadas, como hojas secas atrapadas en las grietas de viejas paredes, crujiendo solo cuando el viento sopla otra vez. No pondría un pie en esa casa si fuera tú. El mendigo al lado de la puerta también habló.
Duermo en el porche cada noche.
Oh, Recoleta really does love her titles over names.
Nadie sale nunca por esa puerta. Y nadie ha entrado nunca. Luego la voz del
You can see why Maria and Pancho were so confused about the novel. But I mean, like, they kind of are names. It's better than, like, what do you call it? You know when, like, I don't want to be rude about it, but people who don't know how to write as well, when they just like they can't they don't like use names enough that like, and they only use pronouns, and then it just gets confusing because you don't know who they're talking about. What the heck is all this? In a deteriorating activity hall, thousands of floating slips of paper form a blurred, colossal face. It is hard to imagine how the prisoners managed to transform this place into what it is now.
I've always wanted to use the element of fantasy to better establish our theme. And I was right. Now the stage is captivating, the timing is perfect, and the audience is ideally placed. Only one imperfect element remains in the scene. The creator, who hasn't stepped away from his creation. No. There's another thing.
Garcia, the curator of the exhibition, stands beneath his work, deep in thought, agonizing over every minute imperfection. His fellow poets whisper to one another.
Can you even tell any difference between today's setup and yesterday's?
Seriously, Roberta? That's a rude question.
Is that diggers?
Well, what's the difference then?
I can't see one either, but you should never judge art by how much it changes.
Is that diggers?
It's a creative process. We might be standing at the edge of the world.
Oh my god.
Art has no boundaries. We have to show him our support.
I wasn't ready for a digger's
He's been
appearance.
And tweaking for over 3 months. Even if the idealist himself entrusted him with this exhibition, he can still be wrong sometimes. This gallery is turning into a dump.
Estoy viendo fantasmas, todos con las mismas caras, Garcia. Demasiados. Es fácil perderse en ellos.
Having navigated through the labyrinth, the idealist, the leader of La Sociedad, arrives at the exhibit's entrance, accompanied by several new faces and the jailer.
Idealist, you're back. Are these new recruits for La Sociedad? You must have had a very successful day.
It is good to see you, Garcia. How has your vision progressed today?
First a salon, and now an art gallery. Is this really a prison?
Her shock is evident on her face, but her words are ignored as Garcia begins to vent his frustrations.
As you can see, I've strived to push the element of fantasy in my work so that it might reach perfection. But why doesn't it look like what I imagine?
Stop, that's real.
It's like I'm trying to work on a shadow. Some shapeless thing that morphs and shifts by the hour. Idealist, am I losing it again? I took my medicine as instructed.
It was never the pills that blinded you, my dear Garcia. You mustn't let tedious routine stifle what's truly alive. Remember, like those old poems, your exhibition must have a timeless rhythm that's never lost to the changing of minds.
Garcia holds out his hands as if grasping something fleeting, but fails to hold on to it.
Sorry, maybe I'm just not getting it.
Look out. There's your answer. Though the sun rises the same way every day, the multitudes of shadows it casts are ever changing. Isn't that the only constant in life? Change. We foolishly pursue stability and constancy, but our very world denies it. Take a step back. Take several. And see the truth for yourself, lest you too become lost among the shifting shadows.
I get it now. It's the changing light that makes the exhibit seem different from what I expected. I shouldn't waste my time on freezing things in one perfect moment. Instead, I need to.
I like that way of
change as
thinking.
it comes. I don't know how to thank you. I won't let you down. I must complete this exhibition. Complete my alter ego.
What? The choice of word widens the writer's eyes.
Did you say alter ego? And he called you Garcia. Is that your name? Garcia, where did you learn about this alter ego? Do you happen to write under the name?
What is this music? It's so scary. But the curator has already returned to his work, uninterested or oblivious to his visitors.
Please, Recoleta, give our artist some space. Can't you see? He's already returned to his own time and space. He can't hear a thing you say.
He's right. Garcia is deep in his own head now. He won't hear a thing until he's done with whatever he has to do. Even if the floor were to collapse out under us, I think he will be left standing in the air without even noticing.
Pardon me then.
He takes a step back out of respect.
All right, my dear guests. Please forgive my late introduction.
Oh my god.
Welcome
the glitching is getting
to the
more
Gallery of Bewilderment.
apparent.
Thank you for inviting me here, Mr. Idealist.
But it's only ever the Idealist. The Foundation's investigators have been carefully observing each prisoner's movements since they arrived, but unfortunately there is no sign of Miss Torres. Actually, no, it was not just the Idealist.
About what we do here, in the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. We're putting together a magazine, a collection of poems from Comala, our very own Casa de las Americas.
Casa de las Americas?
The Idealist nods with a smile.
Exactly. Named after its great predecessor. You're a fine mind indeed. At this very moment, all our compañeros are working on it. Garcia's exhibition.
Oh my god, the whole entire screen could be glitching the hell out, and you guys are gonna keep telling me
you can see
that it's just in my head.
Poets involved,
be for real.
Along with a few words they've written for it. Reading it is like looking into the soul of our society.
All these signatures.
Soneto steps forward to examine the perplexing artwork. In the dim lighting, the enormous face appears to be looming watchfully over the entire room. A floating slip of paper catches her attention.
Timekeeper, here! It's Dr. Doris' pseudonym, Erd.
Then she was here.
Soneto pockets the slip of paper dutifully.
Precisely. She used to be one of us, and still is, if I may correct myself. You can ask around here. Maybe some of our members know where she went. Don't we all miss the familiar faces of old friends? I'm sure they'll do everything they can to help you find yours.
Doing some detective work. As he finishes speaking, several enthusiastic prisoners come forward to greet the Idealist.
Mr. Idealist, I finished my short story. It's called Weightlessness. It drifts around the subject like a ship floating in space. The readers can start anywhere in the story, or read it in any order they like.
Ooh.
And please take a look at my piece off limits! Every word that has been forbidden is either erased or replaced with symbols. It's a one-of-a-kind, jarring experience!
Don't know if I'd read that.
And I finished a new paragraph. Just wrote it today.
A prisoner wrapped in several meters of manuscript paper like a strange sort of mummy squeezes into the crowd.
Oh, new faces. Welcome.
Without any warning, he calmly tears the manuscript to shreds. Okay. The fluttering fragments fall like trailing sparks from a fireworks show. The abrupt welcome ceremony leaves the newcomer stunned, while the natives shared knowing smiles.
Idealist, did he just...
This feels weird.
This is the writer for the prologue of our magazine.
The leader of La Sociedad, either misunderstanding or evading the question, responds with enthusiasm.
The prologue consists of a 2,000-line poem and an introduction that is written in 86 languages to avoid misinterpretation.
Jesus Christ.
It represents every second we spend here. Naturally, the arrival of new members disrupts its structure, and so we must begin again from scratch.
That doesn't sound that enjoyable to
So
do.
he just tore it all up like that because he thought we were joining? With all due respect, isn't this a little excessive? Heaven knows I'm not one to judge. I've torn up plenty of writing for my novel.
Please, pay it no mind. It may not be an easy task, but he's doing his part. Destruction is hard, but more necessary than you think. Without it, we'd all be stuck in a still and stagnant pond, with all the smells that entail.
This all sounds very complicated. When will your magazine be finished then? Forgive me, but I'm not sure what a floating sheet, a jarring reading experience, and all this constant rewriting are meant to express.
The jailer, having remained silent, takes a deep breath and interrupts.
As I've said, Comala is unlike any other prison.
Miss Jailer, do you mean...
This place also serves as a research center, and the prisoners here, for all they claim, are not just poets. They are arcanist criminals, and each one of them has been diagnosed as mentally ill.
The leader of La Sociedad remains composed like an island in a rough sea, leaving the onlookers to question whether he is entirely mad or the sanest of them all.
You're quite right, jailer. But let's not forget that mental illness is merely a deviation from the norm. And who decides the norm? You, the physician, or the ones outside these walls? We've been exiled here by the standards of our time, deprived of our roles in the outside world. So please, as we agreed before, I ask you not to interfere with the affairs of La Sociedad.
These people are visitors, not your new recruits.
But should we not hear their thoughts first?
I mean, I guess he's not wrong. He turns toward the visitors with an urgent plea.
My friends, no one escapes the eye of power. We must resist. Stand with us. Pick up your pen and take poetry as your shield before it is too late.
Idealist, I admire your fight, but I came here with a different goal.
The leader of La Sociedad, caught in his fervor, ignores her words and carries on.
We're the last true owners of an old legend, words now only remembered as myth. We must stay on the path of literature until I find that transcendental solution. To invent an idiom that is generic, all-encompassing, yet precise. My poem will be written in this language, leaving no room for doubt or misinterpretation. How blessed is a man with infallible memory. He holds the finer details of each object within him, more vivid than anyone else. In the end, he'll have all the answers, if time allows him.
A dreamlike expression crosses his face. It briefly seemed as if he had become an entirely different person, but his vision is soon interrupted.
Sweet tongue, sister.
What?
Howls. Hermaphrodite. Tango. They put the whole city in the nut house.
Timekeeper, look over there.
What's happening?
Isn't that the prologue writer?
There's something off about him. Please, Timekeeper, stay away from him.
What's happening?
Idealist, Pablo's having another episode.
Oh.
Multiples of us. You make reality sick.
Well, the jailer said that they were all... Oh my goodness.
I could use your help, ladies.
Jailer said that they were all found to be mentally ill. Someone didn't take his meds. Hello. Why is my team like this? Don't do that. Random Noir Regaletta team. That's called Peak.
I have all the essentials for writing poetry.
Oh, hello. That's an old man. Hello? They got an old guy.
Ready? Aim. Más allá del concepto mundano.
Okay.
A truly villainous moment. Give this a taste.
I don't know if I would join this society.
Do I have to do this?
They kind of scare me a little bit. Partially it's that I'm
losing my patience.
Truthfully, I cannot understand half the things they're saying to me. Or at least I need like a minute. I need a minute to process. But also, this is still a prison.
Wait for the pop.
And I can't say whether it's the most ethical of prisons or not.
Even for a great thing.
At least not as of yet.
3, 2, 1, down. That's what it's all about.
The frenzied prisoner is subdued. He lies convulsing in the center of the exhibit hall.
Poor soul. I'll bring him to bed. Well done, ladies. Aren't you full of surprises?
Thanks.
What was all that?
It seems he had a mental breakdown and lost control of his arcane skill. It appears that every line he recited carried unbridled power.
Oh my goodness.
Usually, only specific lines can channel arcane energy. You can't just force the power into words or craft a poem to serve your purpose. Pablo must have a rare gift for identifying empowered lines. When he recited them all aloud, they overwhelmed him.
That's right. He's a genius who rides the tides of emotion, just like Arthur Rimbaud. We always keep a close eye on him to make sure he doesn't recite anything while reading or writing.
Roberta trades glances between the tense jailer and her visitors.
But sometimes things slip through.
You must understand how difficult it is for a poet to never taste the words on his own lips.
So then, this isn't the first time, and you're all fully aware of it. Do I understand you right? Did you just admit that you've been hiding an inmate with a dangerous condition from us? According to the safety regulations for the panopticon of Comala, he must be sent to the physician for immediate treatment.
The jailer's command causes a dramatic shift in the room.
No, wait, we can explain. He's doing fine. We know how to help him. This was just an accident. We got distracted by the new members.
We won't be handing him over to the physician. No true writer would allow their mind, the most sacred palace of their thoughts, to be opened up to that cold-hearted, ignorant butcher. Even one who believes their inspiration flows from a source beyond the mere substance of a brain would refuse it.
The jailer furrows her brows and pulls out her weapon. The air tightens into invisible thread. Uh-oh. Trauma. I have an inkling as to who might the physician be, based on the trailer. But I can't be that sure. Weaving of shadows. Rust fills the air and an exiled bird has found branch to rest upon. Let's see how Doris is doing.
Fate. Yes. It looms over us, yet each of us may hold the power to steer its course.
Octavia's cute. Sorry. Just like this nation of contradictions, its fate should also be. In that case, shall we officially begin the salon? The ever-observant Roberta, noticing the tears welling in Octavia's eyes, cuts her off. Okay. Would anyone like to share a story on this topic? Whether it's a personal experience or a written tale, let's bring some life to the salon. Well, if no one has anything to say, I could always retell the story of my fateful journey across the Mexican border. Oh? A chair screeches as one man stands. All eyes fall on his face, shadowed by his heavy brow and sharp cheekbones. An unexpected twist. No one noticed him quietly sitting at the edge of the crowd until now. I spent the first half of my life as a bank clerk. One day, sitting behind that glass window, staring at the endless stacks of checks, papers, and flyers, it hit me. I was serving a life sentence. So I quit, went home, and decided to write something. My wife threw a fit at first, but when I wouldn't budge, a cold war broke out between us, and then finally she issued a unilateral eviction notice. Uh-oh. Oops. I got drunk, punched a bastard officer who was beating a beggar in the street, and everything after that's a blur. When I came to, I was already here, a place that feels more like home than any other place ever did. The idealist gave me some water and suggested I write to Aleph. So I did. I wrote a letter and asked a question. 2 weeks later, I got a reply. Just one line. I'm still trying to figure out what it means. In the short span of life, there exists an infinitely extending staircase, and at its end lies nothing but a silent body of water. What does that mean? Julia, I had no idea you had such a story. Why hadn't you mentioned it before?
I didn't know you've written to Aleph too.
Octavia, maybe you did choose the right topic. Young, passionate writers like you should carry the dream of changing society. Don't end up like me, waiting until this age to finally pick up the pen. By the way, why does Julio have like a suit? Or it looks like he's wearing a suit instead of a prisoner's outfit. The hostess, fully engrossed in the story, has almost forgotten all about the topic. Great, I suppose it's my turn then. So here's my tale of crossing the Mexican border. Oh my goodness. For heaven's sake, spare us. I've heard at least 7 or 8 versions of that story already, not to mention the 5 short stories in your collection. 5 stories, Roberta, 5. And the only difference between them is the narrative perspective. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Repetitive narrative is indeed an important topic in literary criticism. The remainder of the salon is spent in noisy chatter as the storytelling quickly spirals out of control. Only Dr. Doris quietly repeats that name to herself.
Aleph.
Mr. Julio's pass was an unexpected gold nugget. Stop showing me the log. The perfect material for a biography. I'll treat it with care in my next submission. By then, I'd nearly forgotten I was still in prison. I had been swept up in the literary salon. I resolved to record all that I witnessed in this prison. As to whether the inhabitants are truly prisoners, that will be for the readers to decide. At the time, I did not ask how they found their way into this prison. Like them, I was thinking of purer things. Looking back on this journey, I now see that the tangled strands of Las Babas del Diablo have formed an interconnected web. Just as the salon gets into full swing, a face emerges from the shadows, only the smile clearly visible. Idealist. Hello. Rarely do I observe the salon from afar, taking in all its symbolic quirks and subtle metaphors. The bridge between reality and unreality, the poetry of the typical and the atypical. This is exactly how I envisioned La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas when I first founded it. Does he have to say the whole name every single time? I mean, I guess. The new arrival catches her attention. Reality and unreality, are you referring to the difference between non-fiction and fiction? I'm afraid I haven't quite grasped your full meaning. But you do understand at least part of it, didn't you? That alone proves we're walking the same path, the unwavering pursuit of aesthetic truth. We are citizens of the literary kingdom, stargazers chasing the first light to reach the shores of the new world, children crying beneath the tree of pure ideals. I'm lost. As its founder, I sincerely invite you to join La Sociedad and become one of us. Join La Sociedad? A gentlemanly bow, an invitation that is hard to refuse. Everything here carries an air of mystery. The literary gathering, the strange architecture, the enigmatic recipient of all those letters. A rare opportunity.
I'm truly flattered by your invitation. I'd be delighted to join the Poetry Society.
I can't tell if this is a good thing.
But might I trouble you with one question, Mr. Idealist?
Stop showing me the log. You call yourself the founder, so I assume you are the idealist, yes? Ask away. You tell me about Aleph. No, don't leave me on a cliffhanger. Come back. Typewriter record, number P5. A woman's documentation of a blind society. Hold on, water. Oh my goodness, so much reading. I'm not mad. Although, I had my I need my humidifier for all this. Even though they refuse to discuss the outside world, spending even a few days inside the prison make clear that the reason they are here is precisely what they avoid speaking about. Ushuaia is a cold town on the tip of Argentina's southernmost territory. The polar night, the frozen sea, the proximity to Antarctica, the endless winter. It all makes the place seem buried by time and forgotten. It possesses all the necessary qualities of a prison, making it an ideal place to send arcanist suspects diagnosed with mental illness, a place to be forgotten. Setting aside the true definition of madness and their status as prisoners, what I see in this prison are former poets, writers, and social activists. In their era, some spoke of poetry, then disappeared from society for owning a book by Jean-Paul Sartre. Some incited grassroots rebellion against hierarchical structures, only to be exiled. They were repeatedly questioned, why do you read these books? Why do you write these poems? They were branded thought organizers, and were eventually sent here to partake in an experiment conducted under the names of Foucault and psychoanalysis. It is nearly impossible to determine whether their madness was defined by society because they resisted order, or if it was induced through relentless electric shocks and torture. Good God. Or perhaps all of these reasons are one and the same. The reason is often avoided, sanitized, and ignored, because deep down we all know how deeply it is woven into the fabric of all our lives. At first they said nothing, but this very act of deliberate avoidance was what truly conveyed their grief and fear. Passion and delirium. Open your eyes to see the night, close them to see the light. What's happening here?
This is a serious violation of the rules. I'll have to report this to the physician, and all of your treatments will need to be reassessed. Until a new treatment plan is in place, all members of La Sociedad are confined to their cells without any of their usual privileges.
The jailer heavily emphasizes La Sociedad, triggering a commotion among the prisoners.
This is not what we agreed to.
You gave us your word! Affairs within La Sociedad were not to be disturbed!
I mean, one of your guys just attacked everyone.
Don't do this.
I don't know.
Please, he doesn't deserve this. No one does. We don't want to lose our friend.
The previously convulsing prisoner struggles to his feet.
Please, Senora. I swear it won't happen again. I'll take the medicine on time as instructed. I promise I won't hurt anyone.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pablo, but rules are rules.
Before you take this poor man from his friends, may I ask you something? Do you know where these inmates go after they see the physician?
My duty is to keep order here. What happens beyond these walls is not my concern. Perhaps they've recovered from the physician's treatment and were returned to society.
The jailer's expression relaxes.
Within these walls, the only truth we know is this. No one returns from the clinic of the physician of Comala. Are you certain this treatment they received is really a cure?
Pablo is harmless. He's just a writer who has a talent for finding words in poems. That's all. Please, let him stay. We'll look after him. He can have our share of the medicine. We'll keep him in check.
Oh, this is kind of sad.
But this doesn't conform to our regulations.
Still as arrogant as ever, idealist. One day, you'll get us all killed.
A stranger enters the exhibition hall. As she arrives, the jailer exhales with relief.
Oh, it's you. I'm glad to see you here.
Pretty woman.
Who is that?
That's Octavia, one of our model inmates. She's been a great help in the past. If you're interested in prison literature, I'd suggest talking to her instead of the idealist.
So, she's a writer too? Who would have thought? This place has got writers coming out of the woodwork. I thought it would be easy to find my writer friend in a prison. But what are the odds that I'd break into a place absolutely lousy with them?
That's true. There are a lot of
She used to be in their
them.
gatherings, until she got tired of their nonsense and started her own faction.
Oh. The new arrival brings out a change in the idealist. He clicks his tongue imperceptibly.
What are you doing here, Octavia? Haven't you heard? The era of chieftains, ghosts, and plantation stories is over. Visceral realism is the future.
And has this
my
brilliant
God, they're
visceral
beefing.
realism helped you finish any of these poems? What a waste of time. I'm not interested in your movement or arguing with you. I just walked by and happened to witness another episode of your brutal arrogance. And I'm not about to just stand aside and watch you repeat your mistakes. I'm taking Pablo to the physician. Care to lend a hand, Miss Jailer?
We agreed to mind our own business. Are you breaking our agreement? No one will be allowed to erase a word from our poems.
Why does she have a singular sleeve? That's like the...
I have all the essentials for writing
Oh, not even
poetry.
just one sleeve.
You,
Like
me,
half of her.
and our opponent.
Haven't you let your ego cause enough trouble,
has-
idealist?
You know.
Better that than siding with the devil.
That prisoner outfit.
Enough. This pointless arguing ends now.
Okay.
In
Sure.
todos los momentos.
Don't really know what's happening. I should check their skills. Freedom of... What the hell? Freedom of life. Literature for life, for order. With this lovely imagery. Oration of ideals. For our dream, for literature. I mean... I don't know, they feel like two sides of the same coin situation. But also I don't really know anything about Octavia, so I might be wrong.
This will hurt longer if I miss. Time waits for no one, even for a great people.
What is your buffs literally get rid of each other's buff? Oh wait, does it? I was only looking at the titles. Wasn't that, who was it? Someone was talking about her dad being rich. And here she is in prison. What's up with that?
A mice path. La acumulación de laberintos
Suéltalo todo una vez más.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna finish my water before the end of stream.
Huh? It's already over?
Stand down, both of you.
What is this whimsical music? Their heated debate continues without any concern for the jailer's warning.
You've never listened. I pity your followers. To be led by such a reckless megalomaniac. Do you even think about the consequences of your actions?
How did she get here?
We fought hard to earn the freedom to discuss literature under their watch. Your impulsive ego threatens to destroy everything we've built here.
Spare me the lecture, Octavia. We don't need permission to do as we please. You're just another puppet of power, kneeling to the eyes behind those glass walls. They've trained you to believe it was your own decision, to be good and conform. Who could have done a better job? When I look at you, all I see is a sheep, docile and obedient, just the way the tower wants. What kind of work could someone like you create? Literature isn't defended by those lounging in cozy rooms, scribbling to soothing music.
Have you looked in a mirror, idealist? You've become a pathetic windmill-tilting fool, a monster tearing down everything around you.
A beast of prey, you mean? Naturally, a sheep would be appalled by the mere thought of such a creature. A fearful sheep caught in a vine, confusing the blade that would set it free with the jaws of a lion.
Such a master of metaphor. But I beg you, learn to distinguish right from wrong, fantasy from reality. Only then can you truly lead our people toward what's right.
Distinguish right from wrong? Don't make me laugh. Is that the limit of your vision?
You...
Uh-oh. Whoa. The impassioned leader jumps onto a nearby bench, striking a dramatic pose before the crowd. He raises his arms and launches it into a speech.
Compañeros, friends, listen to me.
Wow,
There
heroic
is no
music.
truer home to literature than a prison.
Oh. A blast of deafening sound and all words fall from the air. There it is. Who shot? The idealist's expression freezes, his eyes search down from a frozen face to a dark red hole in his chest. An ominous shade of crimson seeps out.
No.
Oh my god, she's covered in blood. The horrified Arcanist stumbles back, screaming.
Who did this? Hands behind your head and drop to your knees, all of you, now! This is your last warning!
The prisoners show no reaction to the jailer's final ultimatum. They stare at the idealist, unmoving. Oh, he's dead.
Idealist, you're bleeding. It's in your chest.
As his life drains away, the idealist appears unsurprised. He simply turns his gaze towards Recoleta.
You must.
Ugh.
Yes. Idealist?
Oh my god, what's happening? Unfinished words dissolve into silence as the prison itself begins to tremble. The entire exhibition hall twists and contorts, its surrounding warping beyond comprehension, as if dissolving and expanding freely. What is happening?
What's going on?
Whoa. Kaleidoscope. What the heck? What? The hall is still. Time seems to have frozen in place until someone utters the first words.
Was he shot? Where did the bullet come from? Miss Jailer, and you ladies over there, come give me a hand. We need to get him to the physician.
Octavia is not reacting to this. Her words ignite the first spark.
Did you do this, Octavia? You couldn't face the burning truth of
Nobody
his
is
words,
reacting
so
to
you pierced
the
his very heart instead.
flowers.
Justice was blazing with the fire of justice. Or was it you, Jailer? Did you intend to crush the voice of poetry beneath
Oh brother,
the
you're
wheel
just
of
pointing
power?
fingers at anybody.
It has to be one of you devils in disguise.
Who has a gun?
Beasts in human skin.
Nobody here has a gun.
Can't you see? I had nothing to do with this. I'm as innocent as any of you. I've been trying to keep order here, to protect everyone. And now you blame me?
Don't listen to her! The idealist made it very clear! She's trying to get us punished for her own gain!
That's crazy.
You're a murderer, Octavia!
The prisoner's fury erupts. Whoa. In the chaos, Netto blocks an arcane skill that pierces the air.
This is mad. You're accusing me without proof. It wasn't me.
This is getting out of hand. I suggest you ladies leave now.
No, wait! It all happened too fast. What happened to the idealist? Is he alright?
What happened to the prison?
I didn't even get a chance to ask about Aleph.
Okay. As the tide of people surges around them, the line between life and death blurs beyond recognition.
I agree with the jailer. Timekeeper, Miss Recoleta, let's get out of here.
Maybe Osaneto, we know she has aim. What reason does she have for this, though? The illusion of time dissolves, its flow unknown. Under the garden's influence, the frenzy of prisoners begins to resemble an unreadable, chaotic epic. At this moment, an unidentifiable figure enters their midst, though no one takes notice. The newcomer scrutinizes the motionless corpse.
His vitals are gone. At last, some peace and quiet.
Hello, sir.
Well, for a liar and a thief like him, there's hardly a better end than this.
Yeah. He reaches into the idealist's coat pocket and pulls out a die. It is an artifact marked by patterns veiled in smoke, an object seemingly not meant to exist in this world, a 20-sided die known only through an omniscient perspective. And now it is stained in an utterly corrupt blackness.
Just as I thought. You had it all along.
What the heck? What's with these? What's with this? We're playing D&D. Is Aleph the DM? Fate is like a mirror. Strongest reflections are shaped by time. Actually, I do remember, when was it? When Chapter 9 released, there was that, what is it called? That web event where you had to like roll dice to, attack. That was pretty neat. I'm just remembering it now. That was really fun. Up to this point, I've participated firsthand in several sessions of La Sociedad. I'm not saying the full name. The literary experiments treated language as an advanced game, weaving reality and fiction into an invisible web, ensnaring everyone present in a maze of words. Never before had I been so intimate with literature or thought about it so deeply. I was amazed by how words could so vividly express both playfulness and values. Until that ordinary afternoon, when a poet named Eduardo was reciting his new piece with refined rhythm, and Miss Octavia was discussing the state of Sao Paulo with me. No one noticed anything unusual about Mr. Julio's condition. Have I played the Assassin's Creed story? I did. I played both parts, and I streamed it. VODs are still up. VODs are always gonna be up, unless I get copyrighted. Just like he wrote in the Tin Soldiers of Sao Paulo. The greatness of Latin America lies in its richness, and from that richness comes misfortune, gnawed by insatiable greed. One man's poverty is another's feast. Suffering nurses joy. They are like riverbanks, clearly divided. This duality, this paradox, isn't it precisely the kind of question we should be posing through literature? The thud of bone against... The thud of bone against the hard surface interrupts her. Julio is banging his head against the wall. Not enough, not enough, not like this. You can't grasp space and time. I'm still missing some essential language frameworks and thought patterns. With our current language system, I cannot catch the ghost of... I know he's hitting his head in between words. The ghost of time. I can only let it slip away from the tip of my pen. What is happening? Mr. Julio, what's wrong with you? Unlike the panicked Octavia, the other inmates around Julio seem unfazed. Hello? That wall is unscalable, Julio. I told you already. I can lend you some of my bandages from last week if you need them. So unbothered. For a permanently silent object, any form of narration is futile. In the end, you're just wrestling with your own shadow.
What are you all standing around for? Can't you see Julio's hurting himself?
Why is there only like one normal person? Octavia is clearly flustered. Doris knows she must first eliminate any outside interference that might obstruct her ability to help. Miss Octavia, please calm down. Tell me what you see.
It's Mr. Julio. He's hurt. Bleeding.
He tried to break through the mirror of language with his head, but it was actually a wall. By now, Doris had learned how to filter out the surreal embellishments typical of La Sociedad members in order to correctly assess the situation. Mirror or wall, it doesn't matter. Please take a closer look and describe what you see, clearly and without embellishment. What is Mr. Julio's condition? His muscles are spasming uncontrollably as if jolted by a cold electric current. His face is tightening, twisting, and he's struggling against a silent force. His fingers are curling into unnatural shapes. His expression keeps changing. First panic, then... First pain, then panic, and finally blankness.
Sounds like he's having an epileptic seizure. Perhaps I could offer some help.
Oh, dude. Guided by the sound of Julio's whimpers, Doris approaches. His head is bloodied. Ugh.
Please, Miss Octavia, help me so I can help him.
Could you lay him flat on his side? We have to stop him from hurting himself. I can use my arcane skill. Ooh. Flashing lights could worsen an epileptic seizure. Does your arcane skill emit intense light? If so, I must ask you to refrain from using it. Octavia hurriedly retracts her incantation. She presses down on Julio's shoulder and lowers him onto the cold, hard floor. The doctor kneels quickly and gently turns the man onto his side, preventing him from injuring himself any further. As time passed, Mr. Julio's convulsions began... Stop showing me the log. Began to subside, but his body remained stiff. His His jaws clenched tight. I took a disposable bite pad from the first aid kit, carefully placed it in his mouth to keep him from biting himself. Eventually, the situation came under control and Mr. Julio's breathing stabilized. That's good. And there everyone went, straight back to the gathering as if it were only a minor inconvenience. Eh. Thank you for your help, Miss Erd. The doctor responds with a silent smile.
You seem experienced. Was it a major part of your responsibilities in São Paulo?
Yes, saving others is my profession, writing is my hobby. In my home, I am first and foremost a doctor. Miss Erd, you have my utmost admiration, as a doctor, as a writer, and even more, as a person beyond any social categorization. You, a doctor who actually lived in the favelas, pointed the barrel at yourself before wielding your words as a weapon. Compared to you, I've achieved nothing of substance. All I do is wave ideals around, as if that's enough. Oh. Miss Octavia, I'm simply a writer who follows her curiosity. I'm afraid I'm not qualified to provide you with any concrete advice, nor am I as great as you say.
You're well prepared for your vision and ambition, for modesty is such an essential part of writing, and you've just demonstrated a skillful use of introspection.
Thank you for your kind words.
I'd like to return to my room and think for a while. See you tomorrow. These are the cells. The idealist pursues his idea to erect a magnificent vision atop the Tower of Literature. For those outside the tower, what good is that magnificence? True. Here I am, locked away in a prison, my words going no further than these walls. I even only have my life because of my wretched father.
It was foolish to think that ideas alone could ease people's pain.
Maybe we're no different from the heretics who were burned at the stake in the Middle Ages. Perhaps only professionals like Miss Erd, doctors with real expertise, can truly save a person. Wait, but this prison does have a doctor meant to handle every kind of issue, whose specialty is precisely in the mental field. But he's not just a doctor, he's the overseer of this prison. I once asked the idealist why the person in charge here wasn't a regular jailer or police chief, but a physician. As expected, he brushed me off with some grandiose, idealistic rhetoric. But why has the idealist always seemed so opposed to the physician?
Why?
Why can't patients like Mr. Julio, who are clearly suffering, be sent to him?
Puzzles on top of puzzles. Questions after questions. My head.
Her sigh echoes through the circular building, and it is soon answered by a chorus of other sighs.
I can't do this anymore.
Miss Octavia turned and walked away. Though she looked disheartened, I could still see the power of the unwavering force that drove her forward. What would that force be for me? Looking back, I too began to reflect with myself, to contemplate fate, that grand and irreversible force. Feels like Octavia cares about everyone, but is so jaded that she just gives control over to the people oppressing them. I can see it. I don't, like... Okay, maybe I shouldn't just straight up say she's the only one who's normal. But like... I think she's trying. To an extent, but I guess there's only so much you can do, and clearly things get to her. Can't blame her. Literature and control, the two themes of this patch in my opinion. I can see it. The spider's web. Open it, reread it, witness firsthand the events that transpired within the desert.
Ladies, I must apologize for what happened back there. We were caught off guard. There has never been a commotion of that scale before. I must report this to the physician.
Don't worry, Miss Jailer. We made it out in one piece.
Thank you for your understanding. Ordinarily, I would arrange to escort you to a safer location, but I'm afraid at this hour you'll have missed the last train. And the roads are icy at night.
Hearing this, Recoleta exchanges a quick but meaningful expression with their companions.
Psst, Verdun, we can't leave like this. We appreciate your kind consideration, Miss Jailer, but we still have some unfinished business here.
I see. I'll arrange a clean room in a safer section for you. We'll do our best to ensure your safety tonight.
Night falls as the girls huddle together, scrutinizing their unfamiliar surroundings.
They actually found us a spare room.
Can you imagine? Oh my god.
Bleak, quiet, and somber. It's a cell like all the others. Don't worry. This isn't the first time we've ended up on the wrong side of the bars.
At least
Stop.
this time we're just here
God.
for the night. Not a full sentence.
Sonetta lets out a whispered, thin protest.
Though, this cell is quite different from the ones we've been in before. Not just the cell. The whole prison is unlike anything I've seen. And this society they've been running here isn't some mere pastime. They're having real discussions about meaningful topics, even though the rest of the world has been cut off from them.
But we're still in an Arcanist prison. A place where conflicts and violence can erupt at any moment. Let's not forget that. Miss Jailer warned us from the start. These prisoners are mentally unstable and potentially dangerous. Miss Recoleta, with all due respect, we can't afford to see this place through rose-colored glasses. We'd be overlooking the risks, as we did earlier.
And with all due respect, Soneto, we didn't overlook any danger. At least I didn't. A writer must be observant if she is to accurately reflect the world in her writing.
But you...
We came here with different goals, and still, none of them have been accomplished. I suggest we focus on our respective missions, instead of fighting with one another.
Apologies, Timekeeper. Miss Recoleta, I take back everything I said.
Don't apologize, Soneto. I'm at fault too. Sometimes I forget that words can be as sharp as swords. You were only thinking about our safety. I shouldn't have been so rude.
Wow.
I actually really admire how you fought back there. If you'd allow me, I'd like to write a poem for you, once my novel's finished.
So quick to...
That's terribly kind of you.
To apologize.
But honestly, I think we've had enough poetry today to last a lifetime. Let me know if you change your mind. By the way, did either of you see what happened to the Idealist?
Recalling their recent conflict, the indomitable girl finally hesitates.
The jailer told me she went back to the gallery once everything calmed down. She found nothing. No blood, no shell cases, not even a trace of the Idealist.
What the heck?
Timekeeper, now's really not the time for ghost stories.
Do you mean that maybe the Idealist somehow managed to get out of there on his own? Or perhaps someone else helped him? Well, according to the Idealist and our jailer, any inmates who are unwell will be taken to the physician. It's possible someone brought him there, while everyone else was shouting and running about. You're right. It could be that he's with the physician right now. I'm relieved. That was a sudden plot twist, but a visionary of his magnitude doesn't deserve to die in silence like that. To be fair, the gunshot was quite loud, as was the ensuing commotion. Nonetheless, he couldn't have just died like that. I mean, the readers would riot if a writer were to kill off a character so abruptly.
True.
But you believe he's still alive too, am I right?
She knows her words are merely a cover. She needs an answer, a real, undeniable answer.
There's nothing that we can be certain of for now. But on a brighter note, we didn't come back empty-handed from our mission either, Soneto. We found Dr. Dorez's signature in the gallery. You were right all along, Recoleta. She was here.
But we didn't see her at the gathering. Could something have happened to her, like with the Idealist?
Do you think she was also sent to the physician and never made it back? This is all just speculation. If we want to find the Idealist, or Dr. Dorez, we need to speak to this physician first. Miss Recoleta, do you believe that the Idealist could be your pen pal, Aleph? Whether he is or not, he's still my best lead.
That name touches a nerve once again.
Amigas, I've had this strange feeling in my gut since we got here. Something is slowing us down. Now, to figure out what it is...
A silent fear grips her like ripples suddenly appearing on a once still lake, unsettling in its quiet disturbance.
Look, it's a wild guess, but just wait till I finish. It feels like everything happening in this prison is somehow connected to my novel, El auge y la caída de la cordura. We're no strangers to wild guesses, and sometimes they're closer to the truth than you'd think. So this... the rise and fall of sanity. Sorry. What exactly is your story about?
The question scatters the midnight gloom. Outside, moonlight spills over gray-white snow.
Huh. Nunca pensé que te interesaría.
Oh boy.
It starts... Sorry. It's been a while since I told it from the beginning. A few years ago, I worked as a forest ranger. It happened in a desert town
called
my dear
Yapper.
In Sonora back in 1975.
Two patient listeners watch the stammering girl waiting for the next part of her story. Aw.
You know what? Most people say the beginning's a bit hard to get into. Except for Aleph. I'm thinking of rewriting it. But if you like the sound of it so far, maybe I could read you the latest part I just finished?
She studies her readers' expressions, guessing madly at their responses.
Please.
I mean, got nothing else to do in this cell. Oh.
Todo empezó con los datos de frecuencia de las cintas. El patrón general parecía haber cambiado. Al principio, la investigadora de paracausalidad lo atribuyó a un error estadístico. Un fallo, tal vez. Oh, sorry. But after a few days and long nights of meticulous calculations, that explanation only became less and less plausible. The odds of success and failure kept shifting.
Oh my god, is she like live translating it right now?
Repeating the previous result kept growing. It was as if someone had tampered with the rules and tweaked it to their liking. She took her findings to Amalfitano, the town of nothing, as they called it then. Near the old looms, she met a blind weaver who spoke softly of an old tale. I heard a strange rustling at dawn, like a die rolling along a wooden floor. Then the morning light dimmed and died. That was the last time I saw the sun. My own hands.
This is the character she wrote based off of Erd.
The second time I heard the die roll, I was told the oxen in the fields sank to their knees and never stood again. By the third roll, the fields were crawling with frogs. Plows ran over them, and some still writhed, squeezing themselves deeper into the cracks in the earth. The fourth time the die rolled, 10 dormice plunged into the sea in a strange sleepwalk, and 10 bears feasted for the last time before winter arrived. The final roll of the die was cast in a cage during a duel. Before a crowd of eager eyes, the winner left with 10 pounds of gold, and the loser left with 10 flies, which fell on him to feast.
The quiet spreads through their cell like a rolling tide.
Is that all?
Seems like it.
Oh.
Well, there's more, but I haven't quite figured those parts out yet.
She wrote this before meeting Erd?
Anything. I can take it. Please, I really need some feedback.
Huh.
I wonder if the protagonist ever finds this Die of Babylon in the end.
Oh, Verton, it isn't a real die, it's just a metaphor.
Oh, I see. I must have missed that. Sorry. Still, it's a beautiful story. Sad, but beautiful.
The story is still too obscure, isn't it? Aleph warned me about this. In our last correspondence, he suggested adding the blind weaver to shed light on the hidden theme. It helped at first, but even with a sage advice, no matter how hard I tried, the plot just didn't seem to move forward. Feel stuck in that village with them, lost, dazed, isolated inside their small, disconnected moments. Something crucial is missing, leaving gaps between the characters and the scenes. Should I change the storyteller's perspective? Start a different angle? Or maybe rewrite the characters completely? What should I do?
Before the writer sinks into a swirling vortex of self-doubt, someone decides to push for something tangible.
Apologies, but you said your story somehow connects to what's happening here in the panopticon. What makes you think that?
Blind woman?
It's a strange feeling.
bank teller Julio.
Everything here belongs
Woman with a
to
suitcase
dream I
at the
once
beginning
had.
of it.
Only, I can't remember it.
Do you mean that you have a sense of déjà vu? It's nothing to worry about. Our psychiatrist friend Kakanya told me those moments are often a result of a dysfunctional connection between two parts of the brain. Like a little glitch in our heads.
No, it's nothing like déjà vu.
The storyteller snaps back, politely agitated.
Déjà vu is a single moment, a specific situation. But here it's everything. La sociedad, the rules, the idealist, even the incidents in the gallery. Each one unfolds in a similar pattern, like the grooves on a record, telling a story I feel I've listened to before. Amalfitano and Comala. They're two sides of that same record, playing out the same tune. Whatever happens in my story seems to be happening here too. I had that feeling when I met you as well, Miss Verton. At first I thought it was only an interesting coincidence. You're much like the first character in my story. A traveler with a suitcase.
The girl rambles on, desperately relating to her characters.
But then I realized, the doctor, your Doris, she's like the blind weaver who lost her sight to the dye despite having always been faithful to it. And the jailer, she's the bank clerk who assisted the corporation in taking over the town in order to escape her past.
Oh, I see.
And the idealist, he's the murdered donkey driver, and the dye of Babylon. No. Mis queridos amigos ficticios. ¿Qué rayos les está pasando? Wait. Are you saying that everyone we've met here matches a character from your story? Like some kind of archetype? That sounds unbelievable. But then again, maybe you're onto something. You see the world through a different lens that none of us share. Not just the characters. The events here are mirroring my story too. Aleph, he's the only one who truly understood my story. If things are playing out just like my novel, then maybe Aleph is in fact still here. Are you suggesting that someone is controlling the panopticon in order to make it follow the same plot as your story?
I mean, Aleph is the one who was giving her all the ideas.
Set the rules.
For the bank
Started the
clerk
poetry
and
group,
the blind
planned
weaver
the attack on the
and all that.
idealist, and tried to prevent us from finding Dr.
So,
Doris.
I wouldn't be that surprised.
If that's true, Miss Recoleta, it's very likely that the one acting against us is in fact Aleph himself.
Recoleta never expected the chain of reasoning to unravel this way.
But no. How could that be possible?
She interrupts, only for confusion to creep onto her face moments later.
Why? Why would he do this?
She also called him an omniscient earlier, didn't
Don't see
she?
any reason why he'd be connected. He's an intelligent, cultured, and profound person, not a common killer. No, none of this adds up.
Remember, Dr. Doris was brought to Ushuaia by the Xeno rebels. And we know they're connected to Manus Vindicte. If this Aleph really is hiding Doris from us, he may be working with them.
Recoleta stares blankly for a time before clumsily shifting the topic.
Oh, my... Soneto. I didn't know you had such a flair for stories. Maybe you should join us and become a visceral realist too. I think you're only imagining things. Perhaps you were inspired by this strange prison?
Oh.
Perhaps we all need to start writing our own stories. Come out now. Whoever's out there, speak up.
Oh?
How can we help you?
Who's there?
Oh? Hello? Oh my god.
essentials for writing poetry.
Hey, that's
Me,
Octavia. And prisoner number whatever. Magical realism in a nutshell. It doesn't explain things, mainly the vibes. The whys and the points is what it represents. Knowing why it takes away the magic. Magic can only exist in the unexplained, otherwise it becomes a science. That's why labels are important in this chapter. They're archetypes in the story. I see. I mean, I understand it. Magic needing to stay unexplained. I feel like I've seen that be like not even just not even intentionally focusing on magical realism, but just talking about fantasy games and whatnot. And people, what's the word? People complaining about others who try to explain magic systems. I don't know. I understand it. Truly, it's just vibes. Typewriter record P12. When they speak of Manus Vindictae, their tone is always light, often laced with jokes. Colorful descriptions like a greasy-headed musician smearing tiles like a drunk Edward Goya frequently crop up in their poetry. Even though I have never seen such a scene myself, I can still grasp their attitude toward Manus Vindictae. It was an oppression surpassing even their past sufferings. Yet subconsciously, they ignored the similarity, perhaps out of denial, or perhaps because this prison had already taught them to obey, also subconsciously. Hold on. But as far as I know, Manus Vindictae did bring their terror here. Those masks drove Arcanus to insanity and caused unbearable suffering, as if they were caught in an inescapable snare. After prolonged torment, they lost the ability to utter even a single phrase of their own language, reduced as slaves of this underground faction, left with only a singular thought, their souls having left the empty husk of their former selves. Bleh. As for humans, it seems they were driven to death en masse. At night, they were not allowed prolonged sleep, woken by their companions every hour to sit beneath the watchtower and chant prayers. And by dawn, high-intensity training and interrogations that did not require or expect any answers would begin again. The purpose of Manus Vindictae is buried beneath these cruel methods, as clear as the deepest crevice in an ice field. It is nothing but destruction. They seek to completely destroy humanity. Lovely. You know the trick and then it's not as cool and serious. Exactly. Magician never reveals their secrets. The Central Tower, a silent and merciless order of voice crack. Order of ideals.
Easy. It's me, Garcia. We met at the gallery earlier.
Hello.
Please, I come in peace.
Recoleta pays no mind to the young man's explanations. Her focus holds on the woman beside him.
It's you, Octavia! The murderer herself!
Says who? Okay.
Please, calm yourself, Miss Recoleta. The jailer has already confirmed that she wasn't the one to fire at the idealist. The shot came from somewhere else in the room.
Recoleta bites her lip, giving up a little space to the intruders.
Miss Octavia, what brings you here at this hour?
I come here out of goodwill. Believe me, I didn't want any bloodshed either. I understand you just arrived today.
Saying this woman's name wrong the entire time.
There's something you need to know about the inmates here.
Their visitor's expression is weary and low.
We're outcasts, rejected by society and literature, and our privileges are limited within these walls. But before I started my own literature group, I struck a deal with the panopticon authorities. If we cooperate and stay out of trouble, they'd leave us be. We could discuss literature freely and openly in Comala. Such a thing may seem trivial to you, but this is of immense importance to us.
Oh, there's no happier thing in this world than discussing literature. No one should ever put limits on it.
You're right, Recoleta. But we're prisoners here. There are certain rules we have to follow. Except, the idealist didn't see it our way. He refused to compromise, believing that the long poem and his so-called ism could break us free from the cage of the ever-watchful eye.
Perhaps he was right. You might have achieved more if you'd listened to him. After all, visceral realism keeps us connected to who we are. You have to believe in the truth of visceral realism, because out there, beyond these walls, many of us still do.
And what has it changed? Garcia, you're the latest inmate here. Tell us, 3 months ago, before they arrested you and took you here, what has the visceral realism movement accomplished out there?
Beside them, Garcia, who had been patiently leaning against the railing, produces a metallic vibration on his grates. A rough paper roll burns between his lips.
At first, it was revolutionary. Young poets joined in droves. We held gatherings. And the literary world seemed alive again. I was just a kid when the leading poets left the city. Everyone thought it was only temporary. But they didn't come back. And nothing has happened since. No one says it. But we all know. Visceral realism died in 1977.
No, not for me. It's not dead as long as people still believe in it. I believe in it.
Octavia ignores Tavia. Tavia ignores the childish remark. She knows that conviction can be as fragile as a spider's web.
Belief, faith, what is this obsession with the true self? Why does your type always insist on there being a true self hiding beneath our roles in society? Our disciplines?
Look at the idealist. He never once stopped fighting for what he believed in, even long after he was put behind these bars.
Idealist, what a name he gave himself. Who will he be when he finally breaks free from the eyes of the central tower? When he's left without his willful audience? And nobody. That's what. And that is a truth even he is terrified of.
Miss Octavia, I hope you come with something more important to share than just some criticism of the idealist.
You're right. I have an important message for you. Dr. Torres, I heard you were looking for her. The woman from the Sao Paulo Veterans Residence. She used to write under the name Erd, didn't she?
Yes, that's right. Do you know her? You're the first person I've met here to speak plainly about her. Do you know where she might be?
We crossed paths, but only briefly. I'm not sure where she's gone. Maybe the authorities know. However, she left this with me. I think you'll need it more than I do.
Oh. Octavia hands over her personal folder. Before they might open it, she has already turned to leave.
We have other matters to attend to. I'll leave you to your business. Garcia, shall we?
Their visitors leave in haste, their faces and expressions obscured by the night's shadows. The Foundation's investigators open the worn manuscript folder with caution. Was this Doris's?
The physician told me the horrifying truth about the panopticon of Comala and the power behind it. Manus Vindictae.
Well...
By becoming the panopticon's sole patron, they seized control of the resources and the allocation system, turning this place into a living hell. I suspect that the physician, the current highest authority here, is responsible for this situation. I discovered that the inmates were put through brutal training, even when they were too sick to carry out their tasks. They also forced pure-blood Arcanist inmates to wear their masks, effectively turning them into murmuring puppets.
Just as we suspected, Manus Vindictae is orchestrating everything. No wonder we didn't find them in the city. They've been hiding here all along.
No one would have thought to come looking for them here.
They snapped the folder shut. A familiar signature seen on the forward page of Adu magazine, and a receipt found in Sao Paulo's heartfelt home.
But why would Miss Octavia bring this to us? What's in it for her?
She
Do
wants
you think
out.
she's trying to mislead us, Timekeeper?
Maybe. But the handwriting in that notebook is most certainly Erd's. If she's leading us astray on purpose, why? Miss Recoleta, what do you think? Could she be Aleph?
Oh?
Not a chance. Haven't you seen how she denies everything beautiful in the world? Aleph would never be so biased.
Oh my god, she hates her.
Aleph is like a mirror. He reflects both light and shadow. But Octavia, maybe she hasn't looked at the shadow within for a long time. I know that look on her face. It's the look of a writer. I've seen so many like her during my trip. The faces of a lost, struggling generation.
Under the night sky, Comala prison stands like a forgotten gravestone covered by fine, cold snow. In a room repurposed from a prison cell, 3 girls in search of someone share an absurd, bizarre tale. Meanwhile, at the entrance of the central watchtower, a jaguar knocks on a secure door.
Dr. Merlin, I'm here to report on today's events.
Come in.
Frantic writing breaks the quiet of the room. The jailer's visit does not deter the man behind the desk. He continues writing, wholly absorbed, as if each letter were filling the world around him.
There was a commotion in the gallery today, sir. An inmate known as the Idealist was severely injured. The inmates nearby said he lost consciousness from blood loss. However, after we put everyone back in their cell, the Idealist was gone. I made a sweep of the grounds, but there was no trace of him. It's possible that he regained consciousness and went into hiding. I'll perform a full search tomorrow.
The jaguar finds herself quite unexpectedly concealing the truth about Pablo.
No need.
Yep.
Fair?
He knew the consequences of breaking the rules, did he not?
Sir, with all due respect, I think today's incident proved just how dangerous it is to let the inmates keep their weapons. We never should have let them walk around with deadly weapons. Even if we had to, we should have doubled the guards. We can't expect them to follow their own rules simply out of fear of the central tower.
The physician interrupts her sharply, with no hint of concern.
Such matters fall beyond your purview, jailer. You only need to do what's required of your title. Is there anything else?
There is another thing. 2 guests from the Foundation came through today. They said they were looking for someone named Doris. They've shown a willingness to cooperate, though they were involved with the incident in Corridor Zero.
The sound of writing continues, her report is disregarded. The jailer takes a deep breath. The next part is difficult to say.
Sir, there is one more thing. I told Miss Octavia we're short on rations, and she's adjusted the inmates' portions accordingly, but that won't last long.
Oh.
Manus Vindicti stopped providing supplies back in March, and Sino has collected all the prisoners they had previously placed in her custody. I just wonder why they have so suddenly withdrawn from Ushuaia and brought all the prisoners with them. I also noticed that we haven't received any orders from the government since Warden Tartuffe was transferred. In fact, we haven't had any communication with them at all. Sir, In frank terms, we're facing down a serious shortage of medicine, food, and basic supplies. At this rate, the panopticon will soon be unable to operate. Where will our inmates go then?
The man before her says nothing for a long time, his pen still flickering over the page.
Can we ask the Foundation for help? They've sent their people here. Maybe they're interested in the panopticon? I could arrange a meeting if you like.
You're unusually talkative today.
The man finally stops writing and looks up.
Pardon, sir?
That's fascinating, you know. You've become so much more concerned about this place and its inmates than when you first started. You are now dictated by your title.
I didn't mean to overstep. I'm sorry.
You can go now. I have a great deal of work to do. Oh, and one more thing.
He beckons the jailer back before she leaves.
Make sure this month's Comala Congress is held according to schedule.
Yes, sir.
Glitch. The jaguar disappears beyond the door, metallic footsteps fading into the distance. Only then does the physician allow a suppressed frustration to surface.
How many times have I warned you about this? The idealist has to go. He's nothing but trouble for us. You're too soft on him, Aleph. Look at the mess he has us in now. Calm down.
What? Huh?
He's a rabble-rousing thief, a self-destructive maniac, a snake in the grass. He even stole the tea of Comala from me. He's nearly ruined everything we've worked for.
My goodness. The man angrily raises the once lost and now found die. In a dim room, it flickers with a comforting glow.
It's only a die, Merlin. It does nothing more than a die can do. You were there today. You saw what he did. He managed to change the panopticon with this die, even if only for a second. He'll ruin my work, Aleph. He's a slave to his passion. His head is filled with impulsive thoughts. I don't trust him. We can't trust him. I've done everything you've asked. Now it's time to do your part.
Aleph responds with indifference to the physician's frustration, continuing his writing without pause.
Time's ticking down. I can't afford any further mistakes. No one can be permitted to stop my experiment in the panopticon. I'll prove it to them that we have found the path to the ultimate answer.
Huh. I admit, I'm a little lost. Because I thought that guy is Aleph. But they call him Merlin. Okay, hold on. Let me catch up to chat before I continue reading this. And also give my throat a chance. Science and magic are opposites, not because of aesthetics, but because they're conceptually opposite, like alchemy and full metal and superpowers, but it's still science because we know how it works in full. Ah, I see. Just as the names and roles can tell us more than just a normal name about a person, it only works if we have a shared idea of that role. Society dictates the ideas and the ideas the role embodies. I think it is so fascinating. This whole, even just the consistent use of titles in this chapter, and then what Merlin was saying to the jailer about how her, I don't remember the exact words, but how her title has begun to dictate her actions now that she's been here for who knows how long. Quite neat. Aleph is probably the most interesting character since Tuesday, in my opinion. Recoleta also took me as a surprise, probably because I didn't think much of her at first, which is a really good payoff. Ooh. Curious. Recoleta is... I do like her. I am liking her. Partially because I get her. I get her to at least to an extent, but I don't know. Like, I think she. I could be friends with her. I think a handful of people would probably say that, like, if like knowing a Recoleta in real life would probably be annoying, and I get it, but like, I think she's neat. She's passionate. She has a passion for the arts and writing, and I will always have so much respect for people like that. I don't know. You empathize with her as a writer, yeah. Well, not necessarily just a writer, but as an artist in general. Because writing is an art. I'm reading about it now. Due to political dictatorships in 1977, many writers in Latin American literature were silenced. Many writers and political dissenters were jailed, exiled, and killed, which is why everyone in Comala is a writer. I see. That makes more sense. It is kind of jarring to see this giant prison be filled with so many writers that they could have a whole society. And poets, no less. More water. Yeah, I like Recoleta. Passion for the things that you enjoy, hobby or not. It's always a beautiful thing. Passion is something that I think people should never let go of, you know? But that's just me. That's just the person whose dream job is one that does not make a lot of money speaking. Based on the above information and recent intelligence from the Timekeeper Squad, it is confirmed that Xeno's defector unit had entered Comala Prison, which held numerous arcanists, and withdrew from Ushuaia on March 2nd. The operation clearly involved cooperation with Management Dictate. The current whereabouts of the defectors remain unclear, pending further intelligence from the Timekeeper Squad. The information is fragmented and partially inferential. For the full reasoning behind the operation and additional details, please refer to Attachment 428. So they were here. Well, obviously they were here. But so was Xeno. During the third Comala Congress, someone's daily dose of diazepam was reduced from 2 3/4 tablets to none, replaced with 2 classified poetry collections, A1675, and 60 chlorphramazine tablets, to be taken 1.5 per day. 60. 2 days, 11 hours, 8 minutes, and 4 seconds later, an 8mm crack appeared on the bar of his cell, which is on the 2nd floor near the 3rd staircase, and as the 8th cell from the left, he scraped off a 4x3mm fragment on from the 32nd tile. Okay. 2. Mentions of the other me increased from 3 times in 48 hours to 25 times in 48 hours. Who is this? 3. 4 days, 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 8 seconds later, he transitioned from merely collecting manuscript paper to collecting manuscript paper. Oh, this is Pablo. Manuscript paper and mirror fragments. Within the next 24 hours, he collected 11 mirrors, which totaled 103 shards. Or is this Julio? Who are we talking about? During the 6th Comala Congress, someone's supply of fluoxetine and valproate was completely discontinued, replaced with 4 classified L6759 literary selections and 4 rolls of 400cm bandages. 1. Averaged 32 bangs against bars and walls per hour. The bandages were all used up within 4 days, 14 hours, 20 minutes, and 9 seconds, with 89.3 centimeters lost in the water due to excessive ripping. 2. Wrote 15 pages of poetry over 10 days, 6 hours, 8 minutes, and 3 seconds. Tore up 14 of those pages and then swallowed the remaining one. I assume those are talking about prisoners. I can't tell if it's ones we've met already. Diazepam is Bendos and anxiety muscle spasm med. That's the Julio, then. I think. If I remember who. Yeah, Julio was the one who was banging his head on the wall and had a seizure. I think. connecting dots where there may not be dots. The ant mill. The truth is, no one can truly bend fate.
La cabaña con el techo azul estaba silenciosa como siempre. En un sueño fugaz, la investigadora de paracausalidad descubrió la verdad detrás del dado de Babilonia. Examinó cuidadosamente los patrones ocultos, como un astuto astrólogo rastrea los movimientos de las estrellas. Lo que pueda parecer errores o accidentes no niega las verdades del destino.
Is the para-casualty
Por el contrario,
investigator
afirman su existencia.
Aleph
Solo pregúntale al gran
or
Heráclito.
Recoleta? That's what I want to know.
En un universo no observado, el dado de Babilonia gira perpetuamente, dictando el destino de todos en un tiempo que es tanto infinitamente largo como infinitamente corto. Mira, cerró los ojos. Respetaba la aleatoriedad de los números y el destino. Respetaba el juicio del dado. De lo contrario, se habría perdido sumisamente en los huecos del tiempo y bajaría para siempre como un fantasma en el olvido.
Oh wait, is the investigator the one with the suitcase? Okay, never mind. In a solemn prison hall, under the half-light of the next day, the prisoners of Comala gather. Octavia steps on the podium with a stern expression.
First,
Oh, hello.
allow me to make one thing
I thought that
clear.
the investigator was a
I had
different character
absolutely nothing to
from
do
the
with what happened
one
to
with
the
the
idealist
suitcase.
yesterday. I swear it on my career as a writer. As you all know, the idealist and I are the representatives of the two factions of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Américas. As you also know, we have been at peace since the Let Sleeping Dogs Lie agreement was signed a few months ago.
Hello.
Despite our differing views, we have
Why is she
coexisted
glitching
to
now?
this day under the watchful
What is
gaze of
happening?
the Central Tower. Rest assured that we will work tirelessly to locate the missing idealist.
Don't put so much pressure on yourself, Miss Octavia. His death wasn't your fault. After all, he was the one who threw the first verbal dagger.
The murmurs cascading below reach the ears of the prisoners from another faction.
Show some respect, you morons. The idealist is missing, not dead. I'm sure he'll show up in one piece before we know it.
Better face the hard truth now, Roberta. Though, I have to say, it won't be easy for you to find a new leader as mad as him.
A polite cough from the hostess pauses the heated debate.
Please, everyone, quiet down. According to the agreement, today's Congress should have been chaired by the idealist. Since he is still missing, I will be acting on his...
Pardon my lateness. Go ahead. I'm ready to moderate.
Oh. Unfamiliar footsteps break the regular pattern of events. The jailer leads her visitors to the entrance of the prison hall.
Miss Vert, I looked over the incarceration and visitor records from the past 6 months. There was no mention of anyone named Doris.
Then it seems only the physician knows the whereabouts of Dr. Dorez. Miss Jailer, we need to meet with the physician. It's important.
Listen, you really shouldn't take the inmates' ramblings too seriously.
Considering the identity of the person before her, the jailer softens her tone.
But if it's as critical as you say, I'll make another request later. That said, I'm afraid the meeting won't happen for at least a few days.
Understood.
For now, please join us for today's Congress.
Espectacular! Do you hold literary salons like this every day? This place is practically a writer's paradise. So, you're the host of the salon, Octavia? I say we set aside our differences and have a titillating literary discussion.
You've come at the right time. You may serve as witnesses for the Congress alongside the jailer, like a citizen's jury in a court.
What is Congress for?
Your suggestion aligns with the congressional rules. Very well.
Huh? Congress? Witnesses? Isn't this a salon? Which topic are we discussing? Literary theories? Schools? Principles? Languages? Oh, narrative perspectives?
None of those.
Octavia lowers her head, giving her questioner a long and deep look.
This Congress is about the randomness of fate, Miss Recoleta.
Huh.
Randomness of fate?
As she sinks into confusion and bewilderment, the jailer's voice rises into a triumphant introduction.
Dear visitors from the Foundation, allow me to introduce the Comala Congress. What happened yesterday was merely a brief anomaly. In the panopticon, spontaneous order among the inmates is the norm, and the Comala Congress serves as its truest reflection.
Spontaneous order?
Yes. Through the Congress, the inmates assign and distribute medication, communal duties, and rest periods. They are entirely self-regulated.
Her tone is filled with pride.
I hereby announce the commencement of the 7th Comala Congress.
My goodness. As her words fall, Octavia takes out a worn lottery box and a small trinket from her hand. The prisoners move in perfect order like a swarm of ants.
A cardboard box, and is that a paper die?
A paper die?
It has 20 sides.
Huh? Why is the music popping off?
We carefully examine hidden patterns, much like an astute astrologer tracks the movements of the stars.
Isn't this...
From somewhere in the audience, the girl unconsciously mumbles a revelation.
Isn't this just like the Die of Babylon? The MacGuffin that weaves through the entire plot? The infinite symbiote of fate? And the symbol that compresses time into a shriveled circle?
What may seem like errors or accidents doesn't negate the verities of destiny. On the contrary, they affirm its very existence. Just ask the great Heráclito. In an unobserved universe, the die spins in perpetuity.
Dictating the fate of all in time that is both infinitely long and infinitely short?
Look, I've closed my eyes. I respect the randomness of numbers and destiny. I respect the die's judgment.
As the prisoners recite their announcements, the author's voice becomes more and more sluggish.
Otherwise, we will acquiesce and lose ourselves in the gaps of
Creepy.
time and wander forever as ghosts in oblivion.
I don't understand what's going on. Oh, but the irony that I probably have more idea what's going on than anyone here.
Miss Recoleta, this is all in your novel, isn't it?
I'm afraid so. The recitations, the references to an astrologer and Heráclito, they couldn't possibly be just a coincidence. Then, could it be? Will they look to the die to dictate their fate?
The girl's audible shock does not affect the proceedings on stage. The Congress continues.
I shall perform the first roll. Its result will determine the subsequent roll order for this Congress.
The hostess tosses the 20-sided die into the cardboard box and begins shaking it rhythmically.
The result is 5. This check complies with the prerequisite conditions of the ruling of the die, and the standard roll order has been established. Inmate Jose, please come forth. You are the first in the initiative order. Therefore, fate's judgment shall fall upon you before all else.
Me? Okay.
The prisoner steps forward, taking the fragile box in his hand, shaking it to roll the die of absurd fate inside. The die stops, and just like that, a simple number decides its fate.
17! It's 17! Ah, what a wonderful number! 17! Like an oasis in
What
an
happens if
endless
it's a low
desert.
roll?
The result is 17, and the score combination 6 + 4 + 4 + 3.
Holy
According to the
crap.
ruling of the die, he shall receive 60 risperidone tablets, 40 clozapine tablets, and 40 diazepam tablets. Additionally, he will assume the role of cultural manager of the Comala Congress.
Holy crap.
Before he takes office, inmate Jose must clean the first restroom for the next 7 days.
Wonderful! I'll gladly clean the toilet. I've got the brooms here, the toilet detergent, oh, and the toilet brush too. I have been waiting for this opportunity. As cultural manager, I will speak with every inmate and complete the Comala memoir, finally capturing the moments when literary sparks ignite and
The way he's like yapping while he's walking away.
Next is inmate Eduardo. Please come forth.
The man in question is a nervous mess. His gaze flickers, his eyebrows fight for space on his forehead. His teeth clash against each other in turmoil.
But I can't remember the ruling of the die. I can't remember anything. Damn it. Sorry, Senora Octavia, but I don't think I can do this. I didn't get any medication in the last Congress.
This
I've had
feels
multiple
wrong.
episodes. It's like my brain's jammed or something.
It's all right, inmate Eduardo. It's easy. You don't need to know the rules to roll the die. Give me your hand, I'll help you.
The prisoner follows suit, hands trembling as he shakes the box. The only thing he can do.
My
That is a
sincerest
low
apologies,
roll.
inmate Eduardo. The die dictates that you must voluntarily descend into the sewers and write the thematic keyword that currently causes you the most anxiety on the walls.
I thank you very much, Miss Octavia. I think my head's about to split in half. I need a moment to rest before I head down there and fulfill my destiny.
What the heck? What am I? What? Clutching his head, the prisoner leaves. His steps heavy, his hands empty, but his brow finally falling at ease.
Jailer, are you really letting them make every decision with the roll of a die? Eduardo is clearly in a much more dire condition than Jose. The medication should have been given to him.
As I said, this is how the inmates of the panopticon maintain order. The physician periodically provides medication, food, and other necessities, and the inmates distribute them in this spontaneous and efficient manner.
Spontaneous and
Neither authority
efficient,
nor
huh?
violence is involved in this process. This is what sets Comala apart from all other custodial facilities.
Is that it? You abdicate all agency to the roll of a paper die and call it the randomness of fate? What kind of sick joke is this?
Please calm down, Recoleta. This is the method that the inmates have collectively decided to recognize. They're prepared to face the possible sacrifices that it brings. This isn't about you or me. It's not our place to interfere with a procedure that has been proven both pragmatic and effective. My duty is to assist the inmates in maintaining order through the methods that they have established. And yours is to witness their self-governance, not judge it.
The jailer takes a deep breath, her words clearly meant to convince herself as much as anyone else listening.
If everything somehow unfolds as it does in my novel, then every role was already predetermined. Verton, do you remember story I told you last night?
Why is the music
The
so
odds
loud?
of both success and failure were consecutively multiplied. I remember. As soon as a character experiences a failure, they continue to suffer failures in an endless chain reaction. None of Eduardo's future dice rolls will ever result in a number higher than 10. At this rate, this system, this sociedad, ruled by the dice of Babylon, is bound to collapse.
She looks around, realizing that her words, weighty as they seem to her, have garnered no attention.
Eduardo will never receive any medication. The moment he writes the keyword on the wall could very well be the moment he spells out his own death. No, I can't let this happen. I have to do something.
Recoleta rushes to the stage.
Wait, Miss Recoleta, what are you doing?
Oops. Oh man.
Few soldiers would appreciate the idea of taking orders from an accursed die. On the battlefield, the distance for every maneuver should be clear and precise. Not two numbers with a D in the middle. Unless you're looking to... That said, if a die with such power were placed in a soldier's hand, I'm pretty sure they'd roll it and let it decide their destiny. Exactly. There's no good luck without bad luck. And whether it's make or break, life or death. Of course, dice aren't the only tools used to play with fate. Coins, lottery. Thanks to the randomness of fate, a Babylonian may rise to be a proconsul one day and fall into slavery the next. Well, that's where historians come in. With a little creative editing of the history books, even the random rolls of what were once avoidable tragedies are rebranded as reasonable incidents, or even desirable outcomes.
Huh.
You're starting to sound like a gambler. But even gamblers, after hitting a hot streak or a losing spell, start to convince themselves that they've figured out the grand pattern. It isn't just gamblers either. Witches tried to influence fate through rituals and charms. Ancient mathematicians calculated probabilities on paper. Meanwhile, others suspected there were cheaters among them. I just hope these high rollers unite to confront the demon who holds the laws of the universe. The past. Haven't I always? It's just that today, the die rolled a peculiar number. But all things considered, I prefer the other kind of commander. The die is cast. But regardless of what number has been rolled, it's time to cross the river.
Huh. Huh. Let me see what everyone was talking about while I was reading. This references Borges' story, The Lottery of Babylon. It talks about randomness, how the people who govern use that supposed randomness to enact total totalitarianism to control the citizens' lives. Jesus. What year were these books? I assume what year is chapter 9 taking place in again? 70s? Pretty old books. Then I assume the 70s? Okay. My goodness. Oh. Eduardo. Poor guy. Never gonna... Chapter 9 takes place during 1990. Oh, okay. The poor guy. Never gonna roll anything higher than a 10. Crazy. Roll of the dice dictates people's ability to get care for mental troubles, and the roll is already rigged. I see no way this could reflect reality. Absolutely no way. The rich get richer while those unfortunate will never get the help they need. A parallel our society shows. Indeed. Never stop gambling. Let's see this one. Transformation of quantity into quality is the greatest realization of the method of exhaustion. That's number 1. Numbers 404 to 733. I'm not reading all that. Each person is uniformly allocated 1 dose of chlorpromazine and 1 dose of thalidomide. That's number 3. Each person is uniformly allocated 3 doses of chlorpromazine and 3 doses of thalidomide. That's number 7. Each person is okay. That changed. Each person is uniformly allocated 6 doses of chlorpromazine and 11 doses of veronal. Okay. Strange. What is veronal? Okay, well, I think I will leave myself on a cliffhanger for today, and we'll come back to it tomorrow. It has been almost 4 hours, and I'm losing my voice. 1 second. Let me see. Kind of late to the stream, but the gunshot toward the idealist is a reference to 100 Years of Solitude, where one of the main characters gets shot in his room without any explanation. Oh my goodness, like every single... It's almost like every single scene in this chapter is a reference. That's kind of neat. Wow, the lit majors really are having a field day, huh? Oh my goodness. Something about... I could not be a lit major, actually. I don't know. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to have things be explained to me. But if I don't know if I could read them all myself. Or at least not in a decent time. I'll take forever. Oh my goodness. I'm such a slow reader. It's not even funny. A lot of these meds are used to treat mental illness and psychosis. These inmates aren't getting the necessary care into society. I could tell you that. Oh my god, this prison is freaky. So crazy. For what? This chapter is a love letter to literature, but Latin American literature boom and writing as a whole. It is. It's so cool. Oh my gosh. Reverse? We're not even done. I'm only halfway. But like, Reverse never fails to blow me away. With just how much thought goes into every little detail. So good. Well, we will continue to appreciate it tomorrow. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks all my VOD watchers. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. As per usual, stream announcements will be posted on my Twitter and Blue Sky in the description. Next week, I plan on trying to get to chapter 10. I have to see. Because I am not done with my work for this week. I'm almost done, but I'm technically not. So we'll see how much stuff I have to do next week. But hopefully we can get to chapter 10. And then I also think... I think Star Rail is also next week. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I will see all of you guys tomorrow. I need more water and food. And we can yap harder, even harder tomorrow. Let me double check if I have anything else to say. I don't. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.